You're what's good, folks? Welcome to Koye Media once again. Appreciate the AKs that support the channel. I thank y'all for coming back. Judas Redemption was good. Alpha Mason, what up though? Dan Chan Tech, he was first. What's up with you? Agent Nine, what's good? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. I have seen you, but I haven't seen you. I guess with this, I think you changed it, the way you write your name because it looked different in your profile pic too. That's probably what it is. So let's go, my brother. Los Altos SM. He said, "Oh yeah, good film session on the way." Yeah, I think I found a way around the BS, but I guess if I say it out loud, y'all probably somebody in here probably figure out a way to get YouTube back on my ass. So I'm not even gonna say how I'm doing it, but it might work this time. It worked last time, so let's see if it do it again. But in the event that they do strike my page, like they do, or strike this video, and so I don't get paid for it, make sure if you want to support the channel, I would much rather you, even more important than super chats, I would much rather you just become a member. Members definitely, their voices are louder. So, meaning if I see you have a membership, I'll answer any of your questions. Obviously, I do that anyway, but it'll be a lot easier for me to see you if you're a member anyway. But super chats are welcome, but those are one-offs. If you want to build the channel so that I don't have to worry about strikes, definitely become a member. It's only $4, maybe $7, depending on what level of member you want to be. You want to give me influence on what I'm breaking down, it's probably like $7. If you want to give me input within the chat and you just want to be heard before anyone else, or louder than anyone else, just $4, man. $4 a month. So basically, you're buying a cup of coffee per month, and I will do all of this. I don't even want to say slave labor because y'all might take that personal. It's not Black History Month no more though. But I'll do all this labor on these breakdowns, no problem, man. So make sure y'all do that. Hit the like button if you haven't already. It's 50 of y'all in here. But yeah, we about to get into it in a second. First, before we get into film, though, we're gonna talk about obviously Myles Garrett. But let me see what you guys are saying real quick. Sneed DT, he said Okoye never miss with the fits. Oh, this is a nice fit. I mean, I like this little Burberry jacket, and I appreciate that, good brother. Appreciate that. I wasn't even trying today, man. I had to go to child support court because I said I ain't even supposed to be paying no goddamn child support. I raised all my kids. But I ain't gonna get into all that. You know how people be. But they think you making some money, so they try to come get you. But my son is 18. I'm like, what the hell we doing? What we doing down here? And I raised them and just gave them back a year ago. Anyway, Subakuya, ready for the show? Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's get it. Before we get into the show, man, Myles Garrett. We gotta talk about Myles Garrett, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put these on the stage too. I think people like watching the comments on stage. But we're gonna talk about Myles Garrett. Everybody's talking about the fact that Myles Garrett changed his contract, or they changed the language in his contract, which means he's allowed to be traded now. All that heat and all that energy y'all had for Max Crosby, save it for Myles Garrett as well. I think that's a good trade if it were to happen. However you pull it off, because of who he is as a player and how dominant he's been. I don't see Jerry jumping out the window on it, but I think he's going to be interested. And more importantly, I think Myles Garrett's interested in coming back to Texas as well and having an opportunity to win, because he doesn't have many more seasons left, obviously, probably 5. The way he playing, he could probably play another 10 years, to be honest with you. But who wants to keep playing and losing? He wants to win. So for a guy who not only deserves to win, and we feel the same way about ourselves here, but wants to win, I think Jerry should make some concessions and move some stuff around to figure out how to acquire Myles Garrett. And if you can't, right now, do it during the season, before the trade deadline. Either him or Max Crosby should definitely become a Cowboy by that point, man. Nipsey said, love from the 609 to my 215, bro. That's funny because I'm in 609 now. I'm in Jersey now. I moved from Philly to Jersey, but I'm like 15 minutes outside of Philly. I live in like Voorhees. But yeah, I like Jersey. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was weird, man. It was weird when I came here because you know how in Philly, if you speak to somebody in Philly, they call you a Joe ass, ass ninja. You're a Joe ass ninja. You know what I'm saying? You can't really speak to people in Philly. Like, you speak to the wrong people, they're either not gonna speak to you because they think you're trying to line them up for something. Because people do that. Like people have done it. You know what I mean? People will walk up to you, ask you for change, and then they gonna either rob you or they gonna do something to you. You know what I mean? I've walked up to a dude asked for change and I maced him, but he did something crazy. But yeah, people do that. So people don't generally, you know, talk to you. Um, if you're in Philly, they don't speak, they don't wave. But in Jersey, everybody talk, man. And they walk my kids home, walk my daughter home. I mean, from playing outside, all that. It's like I didn't even think these type of pockets existed in America no more. I used to talk about it like, we used to try to beat the street lights home and all that. I'm like, they still got that. That still happens. I was all hyped when I got here. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jersey cool, man. Jersey cool. I can't even lie. I like Jersey. I still got my business in Philly, but I'm in Jersey every night. I don't lay my head there no more. Yeah. He said, I'll take Myles Garrett over Crosby any day. Yep. I think Jerry's going to pull the trigger on draft day. I definitely would if it's available. Yeah, if the Browns ain't asking for, everything. I mean, all of it. They can take 12 this year and the first round pick next year. You can give you I'll give them two first round picks for Myles Garrett. I don't know. They probably want a player too, but I would definitely. I mean, there's not anybody that's off limits when it comes to Myles Garrett, and that's including. Um, I don't even know if I want to say GP because I love GP, but if they wanted GP in the first round, I'd give it up. I think I would, especially with him being in the contract year, because I don't like his agent. I don't trust his agent to see GP end up with a long term deal with the Cowboys. No more than 3 years. Excuse me. Again, for those who just joined up, if you want to support the channel, more important than super chats are memberships. I have the membership option available now, and members definitely are louder than anyone else, meaning I'll see that you're a member and I'll answer your questions first and foremost, because I've noticed when we get into the chats, there's a lot of y'all talking. And if you're a member, I definitely see you a lot easier. Plus, like $4, man, a month. You buy me a cup of coffee a month to be a member, man, and that helps me not have to worry about sitting here and doing film for free. So make sure you guys hit that join button. It ain't too hard. I will prefer that even over a super chat, to be honest with you. So instead of hitting super chat, hit the join button, man, and let's do it. But let's go. Let's go. Let's see what else we got going on here. He said, "Bro, I hear a lot of nonsense about drafting tackle. That may not automatically start, in my opinion. Draft a defender. Only non-defense player I take is Love. I don't even like that though. Yeah, I don't like anything offense with those first two picks. We got to remember, man. Appreciate that. Who's that? Nipsey Consciousness 85, man. Appreciate that. We'll be giving your comments priority too. What would I say? Let's see. Um, I agree with you to a degree. Like I would take an offensive player, but I had to start breaking down the offense for the NCAA right now. I don't know who I would take, but it wouldn't be Love because I like Javonte Williams, and I say Love is a generational talent, I think, but he's a running back. Him being a running back by committee guy, to take him at 12, I don't think I would do that. The only way I would take a running back at 12 of Love's caliber is if we didn't have a back. But I like our running backs that we have. I think Javonte's great. I think Maffa will do okay. I think he'll be good. I like Hunter Lipke in short yardage situations. I like what Malik Davis gave us last year. And I also want to see what Jadon Blue can do. Or is he a bust? I mean, who knows? But yeah, for sure. He said, Okoye Dada Yoda said, Okoye, what's up? Need to catch the beginning on Rewind. Yeah, I ain't been on it. This is the beginning for real, for real. I haven't even really started. I've just been saying what we want to do with Myles Garrett. That's really it. He said, I had a bad interaction like that in DC. Yeah. Oh man, Baltimore is crazy. People in Baltimore out of pocket though. And I mean, I was down Baltimore, man. We went to dinner. Saw a dude walking behind us he's like 3 blocks back. He ain't even do nothing, man, to be honest with you. He just walked so fast. I'm like, how the hell he walked that fast? Just somebody walking up on you that fast, you think they coming for something other than niceties. Because he was like a block behind us, maybe, but he was gaining fast as hell and passed us. So I'm like, how you walked up on me, and then I'm in another city with no gun. I'm like, I don't even trust it at all. So that was making me like, I don't know, man. I don't like being nowhere naked and, can't do nothing. And I'm with my lady. I was like, I don't know about Baltimore. Baltimore a little crazy. I gotta go there by myself, man. Yeah. He said it's gonna have to be before the draft, before or on draft day, and we have the best bricks in the building right now. Yeah, best picks, I guess. Not at Poncho. I think right now the perfect time to start working on DT depth and drafting a DT for the future. ain't bad either. Adding a strength to a strength is a positive. Yeah, but I don't think you need to go first round with a defensive tackle. That's the point. You can add a strength to a strength, but with the guys that you have in this room, you can get a third round guy, fourth round guy, and have him develop under those guys and still be pretty good because you don't need that guy to be the guy for the next 2 years. So if he can develop me, like imagine if you would have drafted Mozzie now versus when we drafted Mozzie, and think about it. You draft a guy like Mozzie, then ask him to be your savior at defensive tackle. That's not the way to do it. You draft a guy like Mozzie and you put him in a room with these guys, and he's rotating in with these guys for 2 years. That's the same way it went with Kenny Clark when he came in. He had legends around him. Get what I'm saying? These guys taught him how to play ball and how to prepare. So I think you need that type of ecosystem when you're trying to build from within. And I think the Cowboys had gotten some. When you have some misses in the draft, and then you have guys that get long in the tooth that really are either not here or they just never knew how to win anyway. Like you could have Tyrone Crawford here, but what is he going to teach you? Yeah, he was here forever, but what's he going to teach? He'll teach you how to like acclimate to Marinelli style. And you have D Law here. He'll teach you how to acclimate to his style. But D Law now can come and teach you what a winning culture looks like, right? Because he's seen it. Whereas before, what he teaching? You know what I'm saying? He's teaching you, he knows how to be himself. So that's why we saw a lot of hero ball. Shout out to who's this here? Shout out to West 84 what's that 843,000 should I say. Appreciate you, Wes. He became a member as well, him and Nipsey. As I said, those of you who weren't in here, I would much rather you become a member for $4 a month than to send me a super chat, because that allows me to build this platform up. I have a goal for how many members I want in the first year, and that helps me build this up without having to worry about the strikes that I get when I do these lives, because you're about to see the breakdowns that I did. I broke down, just so you know, I don't know how many it is. I think it's about 10 of them, linebackers that are in this year's draft. And I'm going to let you guys watch it all live. No problem. But we're going to look at my favorites, and we're also going to look at Derion Kendrick. Darion Kendrick, I'll just say it, the good, bad, and the ugly on him before we even get into it. The good is he's a good zone cover corner. I like him. I like his eyes. I like how he plays in space, how he covers grass. Very good when it comes to that. Ball skills, okay. He just can't catch, but he adjusts to the ball well. He looked like he can catch, like the way he can contort his body in the air and all that. He looked like he can catch, but can't catch worth a lick. And the bad is his angles. He takes bad angles to the football when it comes to tackling. I don't like that already. But the ugly is his effort, and you'll see that in the film. When it comes to Darion Kendrick's effort, he's Elam 2.0 to me. I think that he's a camp body. I don't want. I hope that he's a camp body, should I say? And I know you guys say I protect players, I protect bum players and shit like that. No, it depends on the player. If I see something I can do with the player, I can live with it, and I can see what I can do with him. He's a good zone cover guy, right? But he's such a liability when it comes to a ball carrier with the ball in their hands, especially in running back. You don't want to hit, and I don't mean just hit. He don't want to rap tackle. He don't even want to attempt sometimes. And I want to be fair because I need to look back at his injury history. Maybe he was injured, and that's why he was pulling up like this in the film that I watched. But I don't like it. Okoye, would you add another free agent DT? Yeah, I would, depending on who's out there that you're compelled by. Reezy, what's up, Reezy? Reezy, my man. He finally got that wrench that he been asking for, man. Much deserved. Much deserved. Hold it down. He said, I definitely think Jerry will go after Myles. He's better than the dude we traded to Green Bay. Oh man, and the dude in Vegas. Myles keeps coordinators alert in the off season and still can't be stopped. Facts. That's true. That's definitely true. Let me see how I can make sure you guys look like members when I'm looking at you, because I can't see. Yeah, there we go. Your name pops up green now. There you go. About to say I had to change it because I'm like, you look regular. I want to make sure I give you the attention that you deserve for that. Y'all hit that like button like Alpha Mason just said. And let's see. With the 4 DVs we have acquired, I guess, and say we use the 12th pick for the best corner, would you be interested in trading Bland for more draft capital? It depends on who you draft, but yeah, Bland can go if he needed to. I think if you have Kobe Durant, you have a guy like Mansour Delane, and you can go get you a guy that you don't mind playing nickel for you. Like Jalen Thompson can have some nickel flex, but you would need to go get a nickel guy, a guy that's just purely going to be your nickel guy. But I like the kid Keontae Scott for that job. If Keontae Scott's there in the third round, I don't think we have a second round pick, but he's there in the third. I think you pick him. I don't think you pick him in the first, but Keontae Scott on his film, it jumps off the board as it just says nickel all over it. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. If your draft capital is going back into the second round though and getting Keontae Scott, I would say no because you would rather keep Bland, who is proven, even though he has a couple of injuries. He has that same injury, that nagging injury. Uh, what's up, Okoye? We talking linebackers? Yeah, we're gonna be talking linebackers in a second. We ain't get to it yet, but it's coming. What's up with you though, Jay Bryant? 25 of y'all in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're sharing it. Talk to your mom about. Why is my computer? Oh, yeah, my computer was lagging for some reason. I don't know why, but that's why I need that money. Speaking of which, make sure you guys who weren't in here realize that if you want to be heard, make sure you are a member. So hit the membership button. It costs about $4 a month, and that will get you these breakdowns. I'm trying to build that membership um, clause up or membership account up so that way I don't have to worry about all the strikes I get when I make these videos because I do make them and I make them for free. And I've been making them for free for the last couple of weeks. Even when they monetize them, they take your super chats too. They can't take my memberships, but they take your super chats on a video that gets a strike. So if I put a video up and then they find out later, hey, we don't like what you did there, they take that. So I don't really, you could send them, but I would rather you be a member, to be honest with you. But I appreciate everything that you guys do. All right. But let's get to it. Appreciate the nod, Okoye. I'm using the wrench for the culture. Yeah, that's a fact. All right. All right. You say I got you when my card gets here. Yeah, me too. It's kind of funny. You know what I mean? Trump got the money funny. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. Gas prices. I was like, yo, I just picked gas in my car yesterday. Man, it's crazy. Trump got the money funny. I thought he was coming to make the money go back up. I said, at least the money was right when he was in here the first time. I don't know, man. He said, I would give Miami our third for their all pro linebacker and use our remaining picks to fill the blanks. With a defensive line that we have, our secondary would be better. Yeah, I would definitely give up a third for Brooks. That's, no doubt about it. No hesitation. What's good, Lost in Translation podcast? He said, that's wild. Yeah, what's good with you? Oh, he said that they take the super chat money. That's what you was talking about as wild. Yeah, that is wild. They snatched that. He said, what's your thoughts if Dallas actually go offensive player at 12 or 20? I would think that they know something that I don't know, which is there's there's some reasons though. I can see some reasons to go offense. And here's one. Pickens, if you want Pickens insurance and there was a receiver that is like ungodly talented, which there isn't, in my opinion, I would say maybe you do that then. If we were looking at an offensive tackle and there's like a ungodly good offensive tackle and there's not many in the draft, then I would take one maybe early. I could see that happening when you're talking about offense. But Love, no. Quarterback, obviously, no. Tight ends, no. I don't even think wide receivers, no. No skill positions. It would have to be offensive tackle. So work on the trenches or not. That's it. Those are the only things I would accept. And that would be if you're trying to find somebody who can replace Steele, maybe. But other than that, no. No. But yeah, Love, no. I wouldn't. Not in the first round. I would pick Love in the first round if I didn't have a running back, but I think he's a first round talent. I just don't think we should do it. Yeah, but those would be the scenarios where I see it happening. And then other than that, if you look at it and you in love with Jacob Rodriguez, and shout out to Tyson West Coast Cowboy too. That's my guy. I didn't even realize that was you that asked the question. But shout out to Jacob Rodriguez, you know what I mean, who I think is the best linebacker in the draft. And I think he's a third round pick. I don't think you pick him in the first or the second. I think he'll be there in the third. And if you're in love with him, you know what I mean, and you say that's the guy we want to go after, I can see you, avoiding some linebackers that might be first round talents. Like, I don't think you avoid Sonny Styles by any means. If he's there at 12, you take him because of who he is. But if everyone that we like is gone, so let's say for whatever reason, which I don't think will happen, but Jermod McCoy is gone, Mansour Delane is gone, Styles is gone, Arvell Reese is gone. Then you have who else do we want? Caleb Downs is gone. I can't really think of, and then even Bane, because everybody doesn't really know what they want to do with Bane. But let's say Bane's going too, right? All those guys are going, which I don't think will happen. Then do I want to jump and grab something at 12 just because we have 12? I would say probably not. Hold on, this is my son calling me. I got to answer. I don't know if you need me. What's up, Mar? I'm live right now. I'm just making sure you ain't need me. You all right? All right, all right. I was making sure you was cool. I'll call you after I get off this, John. All right? All right, man. All right, yep. Love you. Peace. All right. But yeah, sorry about that. Family first. He said, Jay Bryan said, sorry, brother, I disagree. I would take Jeremiah Love. I mean, we ain't here to agree. I see how Jeremiah Love might be a guy that helps the defense. I do like Jeremiah Love a lot. Don't get me twisted. But he's a running back. And I just don't like I don't like the idea of taking a running back with our running back room. I don't like the idea of taking a running back when we have so many needs on defense. Running back is not our glaring need. That's you don't sign Javonte Williams to a 3-year deal and then go jump up in the first round for a running back. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see that being sensible. It don't make sense. But talent wise, if you're just judging off of talent, yes. But he's not going to be if he's not going to be your bell cow, why am I taking him at 12? You know what I'm saying? You don't take a guy at 12 to be a rotational player. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you take him at 12, it's because he's a need, and that's not a need. That's not a need. And if I'm there and Jeremiah Love is there at 12 and there's no other defenders that the defenders I just named are gone, I might trade that pick just to move back in the draft a little bit, and then get what I want, get something else. You know what I mean? Maybe some of those linebackers that you might want. I don't want a linebacker, honestly, in the first round because the first round graded linebackers, other than Sonny Styles, I think Jacob Rodriguez is still better. I think he's better. So is Jake. Who told me to watch Jake Galladay? Somebody brought him up. But Galladay, I like him too. He's your poor man's. I guess he's your poor man's Arvell Reese. You know what I mean? He does everything Arvell Reese does. He's a pass rusher, turn linebacker. Not as fast, obviously. He's like a 4'5", 4'6" guy. Has good length though. He's 6'4", about 250, somewhere in there. Can move. I really do like him. But I do understand, the idea that, he's not as twitchy as you would want him to be. But his length and his versatility is pretty dope. I like Galladay too. So that's another guy that you could take day 2 that I think is a beast. You know what I mean? Reezy, he said, Nipsey, you right. Hard to run on Williams, Clark, and Garrett. Hell yeah. It sounds like a damn good defense law firm. Facts. All right, I'm not gonna go down all these. Like I said, if you guys want want to be heard and want your voice to resound, because you guys really do blow up the chat, and I appreciate that. But it's a lot of y'all. Sometimes it takes over the show because I get caught like this reading these, and I'm interested in answering everybody. But make sure you become a member, because members are louder. So if you become a member, definitely will read yours first and foremost. But I got to get to it. At Khadijah, he said, I don't think it's going to take that much to get Brooks from a team that's in sell mode right now. Yeah, Brooks is, they're trying to get him out of there. He said, that's what I said. I'm not drafting Love to share with Williams. That's a fact, Tyson. You told me? Oh, yeah. Well, appreciate you. I like Galladay. I like him. We just need Brooks and Myles Garrett and use that second first round pick on defense. Yeah. Yep, we can do that. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so what we're gonna look at first is you got Derion. His name is Derion, I think, but I call him Derion like a Beyonce in them because Derion don't like to tackle. Derion Kendrick don't like to tackle, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a look at him. Let's look at him. Let me see if we can see myself. All right, let me get over to this other screen so you can see what's up, and we're gonna look at it. I have to do it this way because, like I said, I get a lot of strikes. So when I put this behind the scenes stuff up, I think that it throws the algorithm off, and maybe the bots don't know that they're looking at NFL film for some reason. so it helps. So if you don't like the fact that the screen is like small like that, sue me. I can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean? But that's why you are members. He said, "I take tandem back. I'll take that tandem with love." I mean, nobody wouldn't take it. I just don't think it's the brightest idea to get love. But let's pay attention to your guy. So at the top of the screen in the slot, you'll see that's Derion Kendrick. And the good things about him, what I will say, like you see here, he does play slot very well. You can see what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody that can come down and play nickel, and he is a guy that can do that to a degree. From a coverage standpoint, I wouldn't have a problem with this guy at all. Like when it comes to covering grass, using your eyes, he's a much better zone cover corner than he is a man cover corner. But he can man up against the larger receivers, like your tight ends and your big body receivers who aren't too shifty. I wouldn't put him against, Amon Ra St. Brown or anybody like that. A twitchy guy. I wouldn't put him against Cooper Cup, those types of guys. But well, maybe I need to look how he matched up against Cup because he did play against Cup. I want to see that matchup, but I wouldn't. But here's the bad. So if I'm looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly on the guy, here's where I say it's bad. His angles towards the ball are horrible, and I would say he can work on those. Someone else can teach him how to take better angles, but I don't think it's the angles alone because I think the reason he takes bad angles is because he doesn't want to tackle, and that's what I would say is ugly. His effort is trifling. So this right here, I could have stopped watching the film right there, and I would have. I didn't need to see nothing else after that. If y'all can see that play, let me show it to you again because I don't know if y'all can even see it. Let me see if y'all can see this again, right? Not this one. Let me see right here. Let's watch this again. He's at the top of the screen in the slot. Boom. Watch this here. See this guy? You see that guy? Let me make sure y'all see him before I even move forward. I want y'all to see this guy, man. Hit the ones if you can see him. Hit the ones. Y'all see him? He said, I just think at 12, I'm reading your stuff. All right, cool. Y'all see him? Yeah, y'all see him. All right. So let me go back over here. Look at this bullshit. He don't want to tackle, man. He don't want no smoke, and I don't want no play. We had this already, and I think he even worse than Trayvon, and he even worse than Elam. Elam didn't want no smoke either. Elam was like, he gave up a lot of big runs last year. I don't want that guy. When I look at him in the slot, you can see him against, I think it's four Bath or whatever, is Muth or whatever the guy's name is from Pittsburgh. But he's guarding tight end in the slot here. Gets himself an interception here. So I can see, what he likes to do. He's a guy that just wants to cover. He wants to play flag football. He don't want to hit. He want to cover. He want to get cute interceptions, and that's it. And I'm not mad at you if that's what you do. Like you can see in the way he covers his zone, he covers grass very well, gets in space, does a lot of the things you like from Trayvon, where he has his eyes on the quarterback and kind of can bait you into throwing or making throws that you probably think are like wide open, good reads, and they're not. By the time the ball's released, he makes you pay for it. So I do like that from him. But you can watch him at the bottom of the screen here is doing exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like he's baiting the quarterback into throwing. I think this is just an air throw as well. And when he lets this ball go, I don't know who he was throwing to, but Darion gets himself an interception here. But when you look at Darion right here, I know you guys can see him. He's right there, smack in the middle of the screen with a purple and blue circle around him. Just watch this play. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Let's watch this. Boom. Watch this play. Watch this play. Let's watch how many times he gets an opportunity. See, look at the effort there. He's jogging to the ball. I don't like. Boom. Now he sees, okay, he's breaking tackles. I still don't want it. He don't want no smoke. Now look, okay, this guy, he's taking this long angle to the ball because, hey, the running back is getting upfield, I guess, right? Boom. So all right, I'm like, okay, you put yourself in position to make a hit right here, right? So watch this. Boom. This is you and him, buddy. It's just you and him. Watch this. This bullshit right here is what loses games. It's probably why he's not in Seattle no more. I can't do nothing with that. Once I seen that, I was like, you can take him back and take him back where he came from. I don't like the guy. Let's watch that again. Let me see. Watch this again. Y'all can go ahead. That was wild. I said, I don't even understand. I don't understand. Like, yo, you don't even like football. Look at this. This is bullshit right here, man. Yeah, I can't do nothing with that. I don't care who you is. I can't do nothing with that at all. if you're a defensive player on this team, especially with what I'm thinking Christian Parker's trying to bring here, you don't make plays like this and think that you can stay on the team. I don't think that. I think he's a camp body, Elam 2.0, and I don't need him. I don't need him. I forget all the coverage skills as soon as I see that. Again, I'm just like that. When it comes to ball, is run first, and then everything else second. All right. Let me see what else y'all talking about in here. They said get them likes up. Yeah, Nipsey, tell them, man. He said, salute Okoye Media and chat. Okoye, hope to see a breakdown at some point in on Eric Butler Jr. from San Diego State University. Would like to know what round you would draft dude at, and do you like him for the Cowboys? I will check him out. I'll check him out. I'll be breaking down the guys that y'all tell me to. He said, "What's good, Okoye? Love the intro. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Cool, Coleman. What's up with you, man?" I said, Reezy, if Bane is there, I'd probably skip Love and take Bane, but I wouldn't take Sonny Styles over him. Uh, I would take Sonny Styles over Love as well. I would take Sonny Styles over Love. You tripping? Looks like Diggs gives up 10 extra yards before he actually attempted to make the tackle. Yeah, crazy. He said, no scary dudes this year, please. I want some snot bubble hits like on the movie, the program. Facts. Yeah, we got to hit somebody. He said, I got a guy for you, Danny Sutton. Check him out. Well, listen, y'all got to be members for all that, man. I'm not just going to take all these names. Y'all got to be a member. Show me that you care. First, because that takes a lot to do this breakdown. I'm not doing it. First free agency Dallas has picked up that is allergic to tackling. He ain't the first. Out of the guys that he picked up this year, yeah, he is. He is the first this year. You're right about that. All right, so let's get into linebacker play because this isn't like in order, but I broke down all the college linebackers that I like, dislike, tell you what they do, what can they do for you, and what scenario I would see the Cowboys messing with them in. So let's get to it. We ain't gonna spend too much time on this one because I think this would be like the only way to get this is if you look at Arvell Reese like he's Myles Garrett and you wanted to give up 2 of your first round picks to get into the top 5 or 6 somehow. And I don't think Cowboys care about him that much. Nor do I think Arvell Reese is the guy yet. I think he's a developmental guy, but he's more Aaron Carter, in my opinion, than he is Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't a game buster by himself like Micah Parsons was in college, and he wasn't like a stout middle linebacker. He's a guy that's just very athletic and good at multiple positions, but he hasn't solidified anywhere in that linebacker room yet. But I do like Arvell Reese's measurables, being 6'4", 240. I think it'll be probably 250, 260 before it's all said and done, depending on what position he settles at. Everybody who's talking about him as an edge, I don't think he's an edge. I think he's a blitzing linebacker like Demarion Overshown. Like, man, I say that, I mean, he going to get you 8 to 10 sacks from linebacker, and you could put him, well, you can't put Overshown on the edge. I'm not saying that. But you can put him on the edge on third downs and cause some problems. But I wouldn't line him up at edge full time. I think you take away from his traits if you do that. But yeah, Sam, edge, outside linebacker type. He can definitely shed blocks pretty well. I like his athleticism. I don't think he can cover all that well, but he's pretty good. When I say pretty good, I mean really good. He's really good. But Arvell Reese is not going to be around for us, and nor do it. But I'm not really too upset about that, to be honest with you. I don't look at Arvell Reese and say I gotta have him. You know what I mean? I would love to have him if he was there, somewhere around 12, of course. But the reason I look at him and say I ain't gotta have him is because of Micah Parsons. We've had the better version of him in Micah Parsons, and it didn't translate right away into wins. But it would make your team better. But do I want to do it top 3? No, I wouldn't want to do a top 3. I would say, if this was a different kind of draft, maybe there was quarterbacks they're going to take a run on, and he ended up being a 5 to 15 pick somewhere in there. I would say, yeah, him at 12. If he was there at 12, I'd be like, yeah. But I wouldn't do anything crazy to go up to get an Arvell Reese is my point. But I do like what he does on the field. I think that he's a young guy that if he gets with the right program and with the right veterans, he's gonna be a problem because the way I think he'll fit in is the same way as Iraq was gonna fit in here. He's one of five. I think he needs to be in a 3-4. He needs to be able to move around into multiple linebacker positions and then cause havoc. I don't think he should be drafted to a 4-3 team, and if he is, God bless him because I think that's going to hurt his career because you're going to either line it's an either or when you line him up in 4-3. You're either lining him up at edge or you're lining him up at linebacker, but it's a lot less unpredictable when it's in a 4-3 because there's different responsibilities for all three of those linebackers in a 4-3 versus a 3-4. And then if he's a defensive end, him dropping back in coverage from there, being one of four down linemen, it kind of takes away from your rush as well. Whereas if you have him in a 3-4 and instead of a 4-3 and he drops back in coverage, you still have four other guys that can be coming right then and there. Not that you couldn't do that necessarily in a 4-3, but it's like I said, the spacing is different, the responsibilities are a little different. And I like him in a 3-4 team. So I think that he will excel if he were to find that right home. Maybe Kansas City at 9. If he's there at 9, I don't think he's there. But if he was there at 9, I think Kansas City would be a good home for him. But it would have to be somewhere where they play 3-4 at a high clip. Otherwise, I think it's going to hurt his career, to be honest with you. And what I look at in the film, what jumps off to me is he's an athletic, rangy guy. He sets the edge pretty well, has long arms, he's fast, he has good closing speed, he's mean. I like that about him. But I do see he has Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs on the same field as him. So you have all these playmakers, just like Georgia has the same issue, but you have a lot of playmakers on this defense that kind of, makes it so that you don't have to be a world beater every play, day in, day out, right? He's not the only guy on that defense that was a killer. You know what I mean? So that was what stood out to me. But Arvo Reese is the guy. He's a good guy, good kid. And I think he deserves his round. I made this pick because I said Styles looked like a creative player when you look at all his numbers. Even though I don't know why everybody gave Styles so much credit for his combine stats and not Arvo Reese. They were almost identical. They both ran a 4.4, 4.46, and a 4.47. Ran the same time. You know what I mean? The RAS score, I don't know how his RAS score was less than Arvel's is less than Styles. They're really like the same athlete, except for one is coming from a safety background in Styles. The other is a defensive end. So I think that Styles has more versatility. You can teach him the things that you would like in an Arvo Reese, like his length and his explosiveness and his athleticism. If he's strong, I don't know how many times he benched because I don't think he did bench in the combine. But if he's strong enough, you can teach him the pass rush. You can teach if you like Arvo Reese and he's there at 12, he can give you everything you like in Arvo Reese. I don't like this play right here, even though it's aggressive. You're 6'5". I don't want to see you use those hands instead of letting that guy get right into your frame. So I saw a lot of that when it came to Sonny Styles. But to me, he's a raw athlete, developmental middle linebacker that you can get to do a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? He's a good blitzer. You can teach him to use his hands better. I think he has good eyes, good instincts, but block shedding is an issue because I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the basketball background, but when I look at it, it's like he's not consistently getting rid of guys like it's nothing. You'll see what I mean because right now you're probably saying, Okoye, look at that right there. He got rid of that guy, right? Right. But you'll see what I mean when I say block shedding. Like he stood that guy up stacked. I want to see more of that right there. But he stacked right there and found the ball, and he's going to do that in this film. And if you were watching the film, you would say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But the issue is the way he's doing it. He's running straight into contact with his body, right? You see that? He's not extending those arms. And that won't work in the NFL. That'll work in college when you're stronger than the guy in front of you and you're faster. And then running to grass like this, that's good because, obviously that shows that he's explosive. But that was probably the best block shed he just did right there. Let me show you this one again. But it shows he's explosive when you're running the grass. He thinks like a runner. He plays linebacker like a running back, like LeVar Arrington, right? That's good. But at the NFL level, you're going to have to be able to get rid of those guys in front of you, like this right here. This is what I want to see. Like use your legs, set those guys up. The thing that linebackers very rarely understand, or any player, about the blocker that's in front of you. They have a blocking assignment, yes, but they don't know what's going on behind them. So they're looking at you. They're reading off your angle to kind of understand how to block you. So you can lie to the offensive line just off the initial angle you take. So right here, you see how he starts off. Boom. I look like I'm going to his left, and 51's going to his right. So they think they're going to collide. But he knows, Styles knows that the ball isn't even being pressed. It's not even being pressed to that gap yet. But he makes it look like it. So once he goes to engage, even though I think 51 just whiffed on that block, but once he goes to engage, you now step back and you have a lane and you're forcing that back. And that was a good one too. But you're forcing that back to stay put because that back is now being blocked by his own blocker. He's being kind of shaded. So I like when guys know how to set up the blocker so that they can get to the gap that they want instead of just running straight to the gap. It's sort of like a boxer. When you run straight to your gap, it's like a boxer that doesn't feint. Doesn't matter how fast you are. If you're just running straight to the gap, you're telling that offensive lineman what's going on behind him, and it's easier for him to block you. Take different angles to the ball. Boom. But this is just him running to the ball, and that's great that he's doing it. He's on a team that's allowing him to do it. But when I see that at a college level, I have to ask how well can he shed if he has to, and then the fact that he wasn't able to bench press or didn't bench press in the combine makes me question his actual power and strength too, especially him coming up from safety. So he might be a tall guy that needs to grow into his frame and get a little stronger, right? But right now, Sonny Styles is a guy that, like I said, he's a high level, raw athlete that I think you can develop into whatever you want up front in the front seven. As far as defensive, and he could do some defensive end stuff for you. So outside, I think outside linebacker would be great. He'd be cool here because he could do things like that. Number one, but two, he gives you nickel flex like you see here. So he'll be cool here because he can give you that nickel flex that you're looking for at 4.4 speed. He has good. Oh, that's CJ. Let me before we get into CJ, let's talk about Sonny. But he gives you that nickel flex. Plus, he could play all four linebacker positions in a 3-4. So he would be great here. Even though I think he's raw, and to me, he's not the best linebacker in the draft. He's the best. He's one of the best athletes in the draft, but not the best linebacker. That goes to Jacob Rodriguez, who we'll get to in a second. In my opinion, I think Jacob Rodriguez on film, even when you're watching this film, is just night and day different the way he plays. He's so good. He's able to be patient and make plays. So, we'll get to that though. We'll get to that. Let me get back to y'all real quick. I'm gonna jump to that screen so I can see what y'all saying, and then I'll get back in here. Come on, Alt tab. Bro. All right, there we go. All right, let's see what's here. Nipsey's still in here going ham. Let's see who else in here talking. Like I said, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit the join button underneath this video. And I'm reading what you guys are talking about. I read that already. Okoye, hold on, fam. He was underutilized, so you just giving a blind analysis, no shade. Who was underutilized? You talking about Derion Kendrick? Is that who you talking about? I hope you're not. Who's underutilized? I want to see who you're talking about first before I respond. Don Jizzle Montana. Who? My linebacker pet cat is Red Murdoch out of Buffalo. I like Red Murdoch. He not a cover guy at all though, but he'll come down and smack you. I think I got some film on Red Murdoch. I don't actually. Smash that like button, y'all. Yeah. Let me see what you talking about. Who was underutilized? You said Styles, Arvell, and Downs were underutilized. What do you mean? Why would you say underutilized? You said, it's hard to say who's the best linebacker. There's a lot of very different players that fit a lot of different schemes. You said Styles, Arvell, Reese, and Downs are underutilized. How would they be underutilized? I don't get it. They're not underutilized, in my opinion. I mean, what are you basing it off of? He was on the field rocking and rolling. And you said I'm giving a blind breakdown. I'm breaking down what he did on the film, not what he did on the bench. I don't know what he did on the bench. And if he was underutilized, that's not on me. That's on the team. But I will say, breaking down what he did, on film, that's all I can do. So I can't break down what he could have done potentially. I don't rate potential. I rate potential based off of what potential you show me on the field. And maybe that's just the way we're different. That's cool though. But to your point, Jay Bryant, um, when you say hard to say which linebacker is best, I will clarify for you why I say what I mean when I say Jacob Rodriguez is the best linebacker. Like Jacob Rodriguez is a true. If we're looking for a middle linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez is the best middle linebacker in the draft. That's what I mean. If you said Sam or Will or doing some other things, if you said who the best will linebacker is, it would be Kyle Lewis, right? So it depends, right, on the scheme. You're correct. But when I said best linebacker in the draft is because I was looking for middle linebackers for this team because that's what's missing, and he's the best overall middle linebacker in the draft, Jacob Rodriguez. Period. I don't think there's anybody better. If you say best run stopping linebacker, it's a tie, I think, between Jacob Rodriguez. CJ Allen's pretty good stopping the run too, but he doesn't have the sideline speed. And my kid Joshua Trotter. When you watch Joshua Trotter's film soon, you're gonna see why I say that. Those three are the best at stopping the run, in my opinion. Uh, he said Allen is the best to me because of his IQ. Allen scared me with his pro day. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what was wrong with him. Maybe he's injured because I don't think he was healthy. He didn't look right. He didn't even look. He didn't look chiseled. Now I didn't care about that, but he didn't look in shape. He didn't really look that in shape. And for you not to be in shape and really, you're not that fast either. And he just didn't look. He looked like he was laboring to do things that are like routine. And I didn't think he was the fastest guy in the world anyway. You don't need to be. But I just didn't like what I saw. It didn't look like the guy. It was like that. It didn't jump off like, yo, this the bull right here. You know what I mean? Oh, you said he had surgery. I didn't know that. But why did he even run in the first place? I think he hurt himself. If you had a surgery, don't even show up for the pro day or the combine. I mean, I just don't see why he did it because he didn't help himself. He hurt himself. Dallas has been missing. I mean, if he wouldn't have done that and people had injury concerns or anything like that, he still would have got drafted in the first round. But they would have just said, okay, we wonder what we're getting. But showing them what they're not getting I think was worse than just not showing up. I really do. Dallas has been missing middle linebacker for a long time. That's a fact. Rodriguez was a QB. He reads the field that way. That's why I like him. He doesn't have to be the fastest guy because he's going to be there first because of how well he reads what's going on. He said, Don Jizzle, can you explain how they were underutilized? That's what I want to understand. I don't. He says, so all the guys that misses tackles in the past and run at a high rate are the best, huh? What do you mean? All the guys that misses tackles in the past and run at a high rate are the best, huh? I don't get what you mean by that either. Um, these guys don't miss that many tackles, brother. Um, I haven't seen them missing tackles. Where are they missing a lot of tackles? I broke that down too. I looked at their missed tackle percentage. They're all less than 10%. So that means they miss 1 out of 10, less than 1 out of every 10 tackles they attempt. How do they miss a lot of tackles? Explain that to me. I don't know what you mean. If we get a corner that does it, that does it due to our lineup, Durant, Bland, Revel, maybe the new guy is coming off the bench. No. If you get a Mansour Delane, then you guys might be right about Bland. I think Bland might be able to get up out of here because you can use Durant in some of those nickel situations, or you can use Delane as the nickel guy. And then when you go 3, you bring Revel onto the field and push Delane inside, right? So I don't know, but I do like I like that lineup. That's a good starting lineup. It makes it so that you don't need a corner, but you want one. Would you take linebacker in the first round? Period. Seem to be all second round grades. I would take Sonny Styles in the first round because of his raw athleticism. You just don't pass up on an athlete like that because there's so many things that I think. Think about what we have here. You got a guy in Christian Parker who had Zach Bond, right, for so long. If you have a guy like Zach Bond, let me take this off the screen for right now because I don't want them seeing that W for Wisconsin and thinking that I'm showing Wisconsin game film all day. But when you look at Zach Bond and the way the Eagles used him, I would say if you have a guy like Sonny Styles who, can do some of the defensive end stuff, can move around real well, cover, occupy the middle of the screen, and kind of shut things down that way. I like that idea. You don't just pass that up, even if you were targeting a Jacob Rodriguez or someone else at middle linebacker. If he's there, Styles is there, you take him. You know what I mean? You got to take him. Caleb Downs, same thing. You take those guys if they're there. Hold on. He said, "What round would you take Rodriguez at, Okoye?" Late second, a second round or third round. I wouldn't care. Yep, second or third round. I wouldn't take him in the first round because I think he's a solid middle linebacker. I think he is just a good middle linebacker. Period. We're gonna see that, but I don't think he's a freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like you got to take him at 12 or 20. You know what I'm saying? I think you can get something else at 12 and 20. If you can get someone else at 12 and 20 that are like these types of guys, but still end up with Rodriguez in the second or third round, you do that. It's better than taking him in the first round and then having none of that freakish talent in the second and third round to take. So I think you take whatever's there that's like exceptional talent. And then in the second and third round, you take your solid guys. Like that's where your Fred Warners were. That's where your Green Laws and those guys. That's where your Demarion Overshawns and those guys were. So I think that's what you do. He said, "Okay, you have a point about Patricia, but they may have to get to the pros to reach their full potential. Downs was able to show everything he needed to." Yeah, I mean, you're not talking to me, I don't think, but yeah, I agree. If you flip the order, I'd take Bane and then Styles. Well, it don't matter. That's my point. If you got Styles and Bane in the first round, are you mad? I don't care what order it is. I'm not mad. It doesn't matter. I do like Bane a lot. I like his floor. I like the fact that he's coming in pro ready right now. But let me get back to the film because y'all going in and y'all doing it again. Remember, if y'all gonna be hitting the chats like that, make sure you guys hit the membership button. Two of y'all did it today, but I'll take memberships over super chats any day, but I'll take them both. So whatever you're gonna do, do it. But I remember that they don't pay me for these, and I've been on here for an hour, so don't waste my time, please, people. No disrespect, but I do not work for free anymore. All right. Let me go back to the screen and we getting going. All right, here we go. Boom. See that athleticism, that's a guy that can play nickel for you. This is a guy that can play nickel, play middle linebacker. I got film of him almost everywhere doing everything. Like that's him in the middle playing middle linebacker. This is him in the slot. So a guy like Sonny Styles, the reason you get him is because he can covers he addresses so many other positions. Now here's our guy CJ Allen. Now CJ, a lot like Jacob Rodriguez, doesn't have to be the fastest guy because as you guys said, he is very smart. He does know how to shed blocks. It's very difficult to block CJ Allen. Although these plays here, you can see he's just pretty much downhill. He doesn't have to run sideline to sideline, which is where I think you're going to find issues with him. Although that was a sideline to sideline play right there. This is him getting out of the mess, making a tackle there. I like some of the things we see out of him, but you see a lot of him coming downhill. And I think that both him, N'Kobe Dean, those guys are pretty good when they're going forward. I think it's when you ask them to cover. I think that's where you'll see the issue with CJ Allen. Although he hasn't had issues in college covering, the fact that his hips are so tight, especially is in the combine, I would need to see more. I mean, his pro day, I would need to see more. But the fact that his hips are so tight, I think that's where he'll have issues, and they'll try to create mismatches with him. But that doesn't mean he's that much of a liability because my grade on him, the way I look at him, is like a Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith is not a guy you're going to ask to cover either, but it doesn't matter. They try to hide him in the defense because he's so good at stopping the run. And I think CJ Allen is similar. Like he's a guy that's you're not running between the tackles against CJ Allen. Period. It's not going to happen. But he ain't the fastest guy in the world, as you can see. You know what I mean? And I think on the pro level, it's going to look a lot different. Even here, he's not injured, and he's not that explosive when it comes to getting downhill to the ball. He's explosive when he hits you. Like he's powerful. He's a load. But I'm talking about it's not twitchy. Not twitchy. Morris Leafau has this issue too. He's not twitchy. He can run good in a straight line, but if you cut, he gone. Now, You remember the film that we just watched? We just watched Styles. We just watched R.L. Reese. We watched C.J. Allen, the most pro-ready linebacker. And this is why I say he's the best, and that's Jacob Rodriguez. The reason I say that is because of this. Like, you can't block him, number one. And I'm talking about he makes block shedding look routine. So let's watch this real quick. Explosive at the point of attack right there. You know what I mean? Can't really block him. He's very, very smart right there. He baits the quarterback there, watches his eyes. He's athletic as hell, even though he's only a 4'5", 4'6" guy. You can see the bunnies on him. Like, he's athletic. You know what I mean? You can't block him. He played quarterback, so he understands what's going on. He actually trained with Peanut Tillman as well for that peanut punch, and you can see he forced seven forced fumbles last year and had 4 interceptions too, I think. And those are good numbers, period. But just look how patient he's able to be. And he's there before the play even develops. Let's watch this again because people aren't paying attention. He's not fooled by any of this misdirection. Look at all the stuff that's going to jet motion, all that. He's not fooled by any of this. None of it. He knows what's going on because he's also a film rat. Right now, he's communicating to everybody, telling everybody what's going on. And right, he's not overreacting to anything. There's nothing that he's reacting to because he knows nothing on that play action. He's just watching. And then he just, kind of gets to the ball the way he's supposed to. He's not the fastest guy. Like, same thing I said about C.J. Allen. He's not the fastest guy sideline to sideline, but he reminds me a lot of Sean Lee and Luke Kuechly, a guy, and Josie. I think his name is Josie Jewell. I think his name is. These guys think like quarterbacks. Like, he knows exactly where you're going before you even converge on the ball, before you get the ball. Watch this. He knows what's going on. So his mind is his superpower, like Professor X. You know what I mean? That was a forced fumble right there on goal line. Like, this is a guy that makes plays and knows what moments he's in. And I think great players make big plays in big moments. And that's what he does, So when I say he's the best, it's because he understands the gravity of the situation. He's not coming off of a surgery like C.J. Allen. I think him and C.J. Allen are similar. I like C.J. Allen a lot. He's not coming off of a surgery, and he's not raw like your guys Sonny Styles or Arvell Reese. And I think that says a lot. Like, he knows where he needs to be. He knows what's going on the field, and he's pro ready right now. He knows what's up. So I love Jacob Rodriguez, and he's a blue collar guy. Like, he ain't no flash to him. You could tell he just loves football. If you set him next to me and we just say, hey, we just gonna watch film today for 8 hours, he coming with you. You know what I mean? Whereas some of these young guys might want to hit the club. You never know. But I don't see him being a guy that's not going to be dedicated to ball or to the film. And that's what you want here. There's another forced fumble. You know what I'm saying? So, he's just one of those guys. He doesn't even tackle the man. He tackles the ball. Watch this. Watch this one again. You already saw the first forced fumble, but here it is again. He tackled the ball there. Now, this is how you know it's not an accident. Him and Morris do this very well. Look at him. Look at what he's doing right now. Look where he's doing. He's ripping for the ball. His hands are on the ball. He tackles the ball almost every time, not the man. There it is again. He's always ripping at the ball. So I love Jacob Rodriguez. I like how smart he is, how patient he's able to be. And he trusts his block shedding so much. He doesn't bother to try to get out of the way or choose sides when it comes to guys blocking him. He knows how to get rid of those guys, and he does. Very easy. Very easy. Boom. Blitzes very well, covers well, and definitely can stop the run at a high clip. So I like Jacob Rodriguez the most when it comes to middle linebacker in this league. Very athletic, you know what I mean? And when I say very athletic, I'm talking about the things that he does. He has good ball skills, and the things that he does on the field, like the plays that he makes are, to me, freaky plays that he doesn't look like he's as good as he is, but he's very smooth with it. And I like that about him. Man. Let's get to the next youngin. And this is a kid that, honestly, I didn't know that he was one of Jeremiah Troutter's kids. Didn't know who he was. Didn't even know his name. I just was watching Missouri, and I said, who the hell is 40? This is how I like to find players. Joshua Trotter cannot be blocked. Look, this is one play right here to show you that he can't be. He can't be blocked. Look at it. He will get through. You can't block him. Boom. And this is Auburn. It's not like he's playing bums. You know what I mean? He cannot be blocked. I haven't seen anybody successfully block the kid. So when he's coming down, he can't cover worth a lick, though. I won't lie. But if you're looking for a downhill beast, that's him. Freakish, freakish motor. You know what I mean? Don't stop. You know what I mean? He coming after you. Boom. And when I said, remember I said guys need to learn how to set up their blockers because the blocker doesn't know what's going on behind you. This is what I mean. Look at the angle he takes here. The ball isn't even in the running back's hand. He does this on purpose. Now 50 has to converge on his initial spot. 50's already on skates right now. He's done. Can't block him if he wanted to. So he took him out of the play just with his feet right there. You know what I'm saying? He's not like I said, he's not the fastest guy. I think he's a 4.6 guy, downhill, run stopper. So he's one of my favorite run stoppers. If you're looking at run stoppers for a run stopper in the draft, Joshua Trotter is one of my favorite run stoppers. You cannot block him with a running back. You can't block him, period, with anybody. If he's coming downhill, it's a wrap. But he's just like his father. They used to have to take Jeremiah Trotter off the field on third downs because he couldn't cover worth a lick either. And I think his sons probably are the same. And I would say Joshua Trotter is a guy that if you're looking for a downhill run stopping middle linebacker, that's like the program, snot bubble hits, things like that. That's what he's going to give you. If he was there in 4, 5, I would take him. I don't like him at 3 because I'm looking for a starter. And I think that his coverage ability makes it so that I wouldn't really want him starting consistently unless we have some way of addressing that in our scheme. But I do love the fact that he cannot be blocked. So he's one of my favorites for that reason and that reason alone. And I don't think that he can't, cover at all. He's not going to, if he gets in any man coverage situation, he's cooked. You got to play zone with him and let him come down and do what you see on the screen right now. Which leads me to this guy, Golday. And I like this guy. For him, he's raw too. So he hasn't played linebacker for very long. I think this was his first or second year playing linebacker. He was a defensive end at first. But the fact that he was a defensive end, you can see you can't block him either. I like linebackers that can't be blocked, whether they're in space or in tight spots. And he understands what's going on. He knows how the quarterback is thinking. And although that guy got into his frame there, I didn't like that. But he's very long. He can definitely cover. He can play in space. So him as an outside linebacker and giving you some middle linebacker flex. If we go out and get let's say a starter at middle linebacker in the free agency, and you have this guy as an outside linebacker, he's also a guy that can rotate and spell some of those guys. Like he can spell Demo and Brooks in the middle of the field. And he can be your chess piece, meaning he could spell everybody in that front four. That's why I like Golday, because Golday could spell Ezeraku, he could spell Sam Williams and Gary. He can spell your middle linebackers and your will linebacker because he can play almost every linebacker spot in the 3-4 at 6'4", 250, 6'4", 260, somewhere in there. I think Golday is a guy that you got to take a look at if he's there in round 3. I like him. I don't like him as a second round or a first round guy, but at round 3, teaming him with a guy like Brandon T. Jordan and this scheme, he would be a problem. And then I think after maybe 2 or 3 years, he would grow into a full-time starter. But I like Golday a lot. I do. His injury concern is not really much. He has a elbow injury that was nagging, but so do I. I don't think that's something that he can't get over. And that leads me to this guy, man, Kyle Lewis. The reason he's so far down this list is because I don't see him as a linebacker at all. He's one of my favorite players overall in the draft, but I don't think he's a linebacker. He wasn't used as a linebacker, really. He was used as a big nickelback linebacker safety. He wasn't a linebacker that you say he's in the box or, near the line of scrimmage. He's always in space, and I think they created that role in Pittsburgh solely for him. But just watch what the coaches asked him to do. These aren't plays that you see linebackers making, like getting into the hip, turning, and catching that ball like that. Linebackers don't generally make these types of plays. So when I look at Kyle Lewis, especially the way he moves, he reminds me of a safety. Or a corner. Like if you're looking at it from this angle, if you didn't know he was 6'1", 220, you wouldn't think you're looking at a linebacker. You would think you're looking at a corner or a safety. And he plays like a DB, and I think that's what he should be. So if you're asking me where he is in the linebacker, as far as linebackers are concerned, I don't have him ranked that high. He's only 6'1", 220. He's an undersized linebacker, in my opinion, and I don't think he can deal with shedding blocks on a regular basis at the NFL level as a true linebacker. Maybe you could do some athletic stuff as a will, but As a safety, he's my number 2 safety on the board as a safety. Only Caleb Downs is, I think, is better than he is, and that's because Caleb Downs is twitchier and has experience at the safety position. Whereas Caleb, I mean Lewis, Kyle Lewis is a guy that I think is definitely number 2 at safety due to the fact that he just has great coverage instincts. And if you're asking me, can he stop the run as a safety versus being a linebacker? As a safety, his experience at linebacker is going to make him great. Sort of like Darren Woodson. He was a linebacker in college, right? He wasn't the biggest linebacker in college, but he's a linebacker for Arizona. Now, if you take that guy who has that experience with shedding blocks, and dealing with a lot bigger opposition, and you make him a safety, I think you're only making him better. And I think Kyle Lewis is one of those guys that he runs like a 4.5, 4.4, but Kyle Lewis is one of those guys that's just a playmaker. And when I watched him at the Senior Bowl, you see this here, boom. You know what I mean? Him in coverage, one-on-one, I think he shined, and I think that he should be listed as a safety. And if the Cowboys are looking at him as safety, I think he should. As a safety, he's a first round talent. As a linebacker, he's a third round talent. So it really depends on how teams are looking at him. That's where he's going to go and how he's going to be moved. Because if I'm looking at him as a safety, Thieneman's not better than him. Downs, you can argue, but Thieneman's not better than this guy. You know what I'm saying? So when you say, is he a safety? If he's a safety, he's a first round talent, late first round probably. But if he's a linebacker, I think he'll be there in the third. So I think he should change his designation because that would change the way people are viewing him on his draft board. But I do believe that he's willing to play safety. So I don't think it's going to be an argument as to where he goes. I wouldn't be surprised if someone surprises us, if not us, and takes him in the first round because of the talent that he has. Everybody wants this kid, and I do like Anthony Hill Jr. I think, again, a lot like he reminds me a lot of Sonny Styles, just not as fast, right? And when I say a lot reminds me of him, they don't play the same, but they have the same question marks, meaning they are athletes that don't really have to do as much because of the teams they play on, and it makes me ask, like, what are they going to be able to do at the pro level? I think they're a little raw. I think that Anthony Hill Jr. is that as well when it comes to block shedding. He is a team leader. Everybody rallies around him. He got good energy, smart player. But again, he plays on a team where he doesn't really have to deal with blocks that often. But even when you see there, when he just blitzed on that one play that we just watched, yeah, he's getting in there, but nobody's really blocking him. I want to see what happens when somebody stonewalls you. Can you get past a guard that's in the NFL that's reach blocking you? And I haven't seen him have to shed blocks enough for me to know, because I see a lot of plays like this where he's able to run free to the ball. And that's great when it comes to highlights. But when I'm trying to assess you, I can't grade you well because I don't see you having to do the things I need you to be able to do on an NFL level. He does give you that, though. He's a good blitzer. He's a good pass rusher. He's a little good at at everything, a jack of all trade and a master of none, but still always better than the master of one. So I do think that, him being able to play in space like this, play outside, inside, he's another guy like Galladay that can spell everyone if given the opportunity. But I do think he's raw. He's a little more raw because he doesn't have the pass rush hands. He doesn't shed blocks that well. He just plays in space and runs to grass very well. But I don't see him, and you can see it in these highlights. His best plays, even, there's nobody blocking him on most of these plays. Nobody's blocking him. There he is in coverage. That's pretty good. But watch those knees, though, for you to end up like Demo. Boom. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I can see how he gets the nod, but I think that his question mark is, how well is he going to shed blocks at the pro level? And I don't know. I don't know if he has that. But Anthony Hill Jr. But yeah, somebody took him in the third round. I think he's a third round pick, third, fourth round guy. Here we go with somebody said second round. Not for us. I wouldn't like it if we took him in the second round. Anthony Hill Jr. I wouldn't like it in the first round either. People are saying that, but I don't think so. I think he's a third round pick, third, fourth round pick. Harold Perkins, same, fourth, fifth. It depends. He's another guy like Although he had the injury history, I think he has a ACL injury in 2024, and he slowed down in 2025, right? Because of that. Now being a whole year removed, this is kind of like his year back, right? He still runs, I think, like a 4.44, 4.3 somewhere, and he's fast as hell. He can cut, and he's another guy to me like Cal Lewis. He's a playmaker, and if you're looking at Harold Perkins Jr. as a linebacker, I think he's where he needs to be, a fourth, fifth round guy. If you're looking at him as a possible box safety type, then I can see him being a little higher, maybe third round. But because of his speed, he may be a guy that people do say, hey, he's a hybrid that we want to use as safety, a safety linebacker hybrid. I can see that being his role because of his speed. He's super fast, very explosive, but he's not that big. Like I say, he's about 6'1", 6 foot, 220. On a good day, so he's not that big. So I think he's more of a safety. And I'm thinking like more like a guy that's like a hammer. You know what I mean? He's a better Wilson. You know what I mean? He's better than Wilson because he's faster. I think he can, if you can teach him to cover and zone a little bit better than Donovan Wilson was doing, but he's fast. You know what I mean? So he can get down there and cover a lot of ground, like you see here. Boom, like he covers ground very well, tracks very well. But those are your linebackers. Let me come up out of here real quick. All right. I don't think they got me either. That's good. I'm still on. He said, now Anthony Hill Jr. was definitely not used to his potential, but Texas relies on athletic players to make plays. They don't scheme open players. Um, mm, I mean, I just didn't see it when he had opportunities. He had opportunity. When you say not Wilson, Wilson was good at one point. Wilson is still okay in the right scheme. I don't think he just sucks in our scheme if you put him single high. But Wilson was good at one point before the injuries when he was younger. But Anthony Hill, I think, was used. I think they used him the best that he could be used, but he had opportunities to use his hands to shed blocks. He didn't do it, so that's my issue with him. Warnock Spew. He said, "What's up, homie? I'm in Yay, and where your gym? My 20-year-old need that work." Steve Poe. Oh yeah, for sure. You want to spar? We sparring Sunday at TKO in Cherry Hill. You can come down there Sunday at like 9 a.m. I'll be there. I'm sparring too, so he can get in with me. You get in with me and get in with Hakeem. I ain't gonna hit him. Like I don't know how big a young boy is. I ain't gonna hit him. I'm just gonna work my defense. He can hit me, and he can work with Hawk and do his thing. But we got some guys sparring there on Sunday, and we spar at Schuler's gym in West Philly. Shout out to Breadman and those guys over there. But we spar there. But I can't invite somebody there because that one's not my gym. I can invite you to TKO, but there we get invited. So I mean, I'll let them know like if you want to come down. Let me know what weight, size, and all that your son is, and I'll look him up. But yeah, you can come down to spar Sunday. I'm gonna be sparring. Said Harold Perkins Jr. You like him, huh? Listen, like as I said before, I would much rather y'all hit the membership button rather than the super chat. I appreciate all the super chats though, but I would much rather you become a member. It's like $4 a month. Buy me a cup of coffee once per month, and we good to go. And then I'll keep doing these, man, because I'm trying to build my memberships up. If I get them up, then I'll be able to do this, a lot more often. I'm still doing it right now but I'm supplementing this with other businesses. But I'm spending a lot more time on this with my free time than anything else. But right now, you're getting it off hours. Like when I'm off, I come home from Philly or 4 o'clock in the morning, you'll see me breaking down film, stuff like that, which is cool. I'm gonna keep doing it. But pay me for it, man. But I appreciate you, Lionel Wilson. He's a new member. Remember, if you're a member and I see that you got that green dot on your name, I'm definitely gonna read your super chats. Your comments sooner than anybody else. Clarence Johnson 99208 just became a member too. I see y'all rolling in there. Y'all was going off while I was on that screen, that other screen. Sadiqa, she said, get these likes up and subscribe and join. Thanks, Sadiqa. Sadiqa out here rocking and rolling. She been a member forever. She been a member when I didn't even realize I didn't even know because YouTube turned it on. And I shouldn't even be saying that, but YouTube turned it on before I knew. And then I got a guy that works on my page. He worked on my page and he added the membership option. I didn't even know what it was because I was using Patreon and I didn't even know I had members. He was like, yeah, you got members. I was like, what? Oh man, that's crazy. That's how much I couldn't dedicate myself to this, right? My thing with CJ is that he moved like he did in coverage at the pro day. He's smart, but just doesn't change directions well, even when he's healthy. That is a fact. Thank you for being honest. That's my problem with him too. What round would you take Rodriguez at, Okoye? Second or third? If you took Rodriguez in the first round at 20, I would just say you don't have a second round pick. Like if the Cowboys don't get another second round pick and they took Rodriguez at 20, would I hate it? No. Would I question it? Yeah, it would be like the LVE pick. I'd be like, you could have did this in the second or third round, bro. But I wouldn't hate it because we don't have a second round pick. If we get a second round pick, you use that second round pick on him. Because I think in the third round, he ain't gonna last real long in the third round. So late second, it was where he's at for me. He ain't gonna last real long in the third. I promise you. Let's see what we got going on. Nipsey, I read that for you already. Nip. Like I said, I'm giving preference to members. So if I see you got a green name or you got a branch because you're a moderator, I'm reading your shit first. Okay, let's go. What else we got going on? Let me see. I appreciate you too. I think I got another member. That was Marcus. Marcus Montgomery. Mark been following for a minute. I remember you. We talk on Instagram all the time, man. That's another thing. If you remember, if you're like at the $7 level, I'll definitely, just like I do with Mark and Big Cart, 17. Big Cart been doing it for years. A lot of the breakdowns I do because Big Cart, I don't think he in here. Big Cart 17, he be sending me shit in my IG, and it'd be interesting. So it makes me, I have to get to the bottom of it. If you make me question something, I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in, and I'm gonna start breaking it down. He said nothing but gas prices. Yeah, he said nothing but gas prices going up. Yeah, I'm not a fan of CJ Allen in coverage. I'm not a fan. I look at CJ Allen and Joshua Trotter they're a lot alike. You know what I mean? They're run stoppers. If you're looking for Roquan Smith, you got your guys right there. If you're looking for Sean Lee, Luke Kuechly, you go Rodriguez. Luke Kuechly wasn't the fastest in the world. Sean Lee wasn't. Well, Sean Lee ran like a 4.7, but they play faster than you, and that's the thing that people don't realize. You can be fast as hell, but if you don't know what's going on, you're running full speed in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, you can be fast as hell, but slow to react. So you can be fast, but if you're not running at all because you don't know what's going on, you still just watching, trying to assess what's going on. What good is your speed? It don't mean shit. So your speed only counts, in my opinion, if you can play as fast because you can process fast. So you either need a dumbed down scheme to do that, or you need to be able to understand what's going on and be in that film room, something crazy. Nipsey said, if we get a second, I'll take Hill Jr. or Perkins. I wouldn't take Hill Jr. in the second either. I'll take him in the third or beyond. I don't think Perkins should be a second round pick unless you're playing him at safety. If you're looking for a big nickel and you want to just bring Perkins in as that X factor, and that's what you plan on doing with him, I get it. If you're looking for a straight up linebacker in Perkins, nah. I think Perkins wouldn't be my linebacker anyway because Perkins is a will. He's not a middle linebacker. You would still exit this draft needing a middle linebacker. And Perkins is a will, but you got to ask yourself, is Perkins a better will than Demo? No. So why would I go get him? I would go get a guy to play behind the guy that I think is I will only use Perkins in a different role. He would have to be a safety. Just that's the same thing I feel about Kyle Lewis. If Kyle Lewis comes in and has a will linebacker, he ain't gonna get on the field over Demarion Overshawn if he's healthy. So where do you use him? You got to put him at big nickel. You got to put him at safety in order for him to get on this field. And if Kyle Lewis is here doing that, I like him a lot. If he's here to play linebacker, nah, he's not even a third round pick here. If he's Kyle Lewis, in my opinion, if he's playing linebacker, because why do you go get Kyle Lewis to back up guys like Demarion Overshawn, right? Warnock Spew, he said, yeah, Rob Hines is my homie over at Schuler's Gym. Is it TKL and TKO? It's not TKL, it's TKO in Cherry Hill. Yep. I'll go on my Instagram is DRCO. I'm gonna give you my Instagram real quick. DRCO. I'm gonna give you my number so you can hit me up. And then yeah, we can spar all day. AKOYA. Yeah, hit me up and yeah, we can spar. Like I said, I work. I do like coach sparring, so I get in with the guys. Sometimes I've been doing this lately. I'll get in with the guys. I put the GoPro on, put it on my chest, and then I'll watch what they're doing. But I like to get in with them because some guys look like they doing a lot of work. They look like they hit hard. Then you get in with them like, oh, okay, I know what you're doing wrong. I can see what they're doing wrong because I can tell what they're doing to me. You know what I mean? So I'll spar with them and let them hit me. You know what I mean? Because I want to see how they moving. I'll jab them all. I'm 230 pounds, so I don't try to hit these young boys at all. And plus, I ain't competing for nothing. So I hit them with open hands. I don't even ball my fist up. Just slap the shit out of them all day. But they can't do nothing with me though. I'll tell you that. If they can though, it's because I'm in there trying to school them. I try to teach them. You know what I mean? What's going on? So it's like I'm teaching you how to throw your jab from different trajectories, things like that. So I'm a technical coach, and I like to get in the spar with the guys so I can understand exactly what they're doing wrong versus being on the outside trying to explain something to a guy and he did it 5 minutes ago. Whereas when we're in the ring, I'm like, boom, oh yeah, that's it right there. You know what I mean? That's good. Or that body shot, that was good. Do that again. So then I can tell a guy, hey, your left hook is very strong, but you need to set it up better. Now I know that because you did it to me versus me just watching it. Whereas if I see a shot that looks good, it might not even hurt. It might just look good. But if I feel it, it could be a slow shot and still hurt. I'm like, well, those shots, you might think this is your punch, but this is really your punch. You know what I mean? Because that's what hurts me. This over here, that don't do nothing. You know what I mean? But you like to throw it a lot, but it ain't shit. See what I'm saying? So I get in there and spar those guys, and I'll do that with your son too. No problem. And I'll let him in with my guys. To follow up on the question earlier, other than Styles, would you take any other linebacker at 20 or trade down for more picks? I wouldn't trade if a linebacker's not there. I would take a pass rusher if we didn't already do that. I'd take a pass rusher at 20. Um, Pass rusher at 20. If we didn't have a DB, like we took, let's say, a pass rusher at 12 and Thieneman is there at 20, I would take Thieneman at 20. I like him. No other linebacker to me though. I think Sonny Styles is where your first round linebacker talent ends, in my opinion. I think Sonny Styles. After that, I wouldn't take too many of these guys in the first round. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if it happens, but I wouldn't do it. So yeah, if Styles is not there at 12, you don't even look at like middle linebacker in the first round. And that's because we need a true middle linebacker, and I think you could find some of those guys in round 3. Now, round 2 is where I would say Rodriguez should go. And if you're saying, hey, we don't have a second round pick, and you wanted to trade at that point, trade down to get more picks, like trade into the 30s, get a late second or late first round, and get back into the second somehow, or something like that. Cool, I would do that, but I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't take any other linebackers round 1, personally. Who's a Okoye sleeper? My sleeper player right now in the draft, Kyle Lewis. I don't think he's a sleeper. Everybody kind of watching him, but he's my dark horse. He's the guy that is a lot better than people are giving him credit for, because if you view him as a safety, he would be in the first round already. As a safety, he's a first round talent. Guys that I've watched that I like. I like Red Murdoch. I really like Red Murdoch. He a tackling machine. He also is very difficult to block him, but the competition is where I'm looking at for him. I don't know how good he's going to be at the pro level, because he reminds me of Shamar James. Don't change directions real well, you know what I mean? But he can hit. Another sleeper, I like Gallday. Gallday's a sleeper. I think he's going to be good because he's versatile, and I don't think he's solidified himself at any position yet. So I like Gallday a lot. Who else? Pons. I like him. What's his name? Deontay Pons or Deandre Pons. It's a lot of D's. DeAndre Pons, I think. I like him, even though he's only 5'9". He's a sleeper. I think he's a lot better than people are giving him. He's not just a nickel guy. You could play him inside or out. He reminds me of Antoine Winfield, a short guy, but he just plays big. Like he got ups, he got long arms, and he can jump, and he'll smack you. So, and I didn't think Honey Badger, would anybody say the Honey Badger was undersized? People would say it, but did he seem like it on the field? Not to me. You know what I mean? Not to me. You ain't see too many people throwing jump balls at him either. You know what I mean? So Honey Badger had a good long career, nice career, man. So he's one of those types of guys to me. I like Pons. He's a guy that you can use as a chess piece. Another one. Oh man, our Mason Thomas. Everybody's talking about our Mason Thomas. Like, oh, his measurables. He got 31-inch arms, right? And to give you an example as to the measurables, Von Miller had 33-inch arms. So 2 inches makes him undersized. They're the same size, 1 inch in height difference. So 6'2.5" for R. Mason Thomas, 6'3" for Von Miller. They're 2 inches apart. I mean, 1 inch apart in height and 2 inches apart in arm length. But they tell you, and they're the same weight and everything else, right? Actually, he's heavier. Von Miller was like 230 coming out of college. So but he's heavier. He's 250 and just as explosive, crazy with it, right? But they'll tell you he's undersized. I don't like the measurables conversation when it comes to grading players. I don't. I like to see what does this guy do to his opposition. When you look at Aaron Donald is 6'1", 280, and he's really like he a blown up 280 because he a freak as far as his strength. That's because the way he work out. But he really is only supposed to be 6'1", 260, 270, if that. He blown up. You know what I'm saying? He not really that big. So for him to be the best, one of the best three techs to ever play the game at 6'1", 280, what does that tell you about measurables? You know what I mean? Geno Atkins wasn't huge. He wasn't tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that tell you about measurables, though? Like, so the measurable conversation is nutty to me. Derek Thomas, only 6'2", 6'3", one of the best defensive outside linebackers in the game. Lawrence Taylor is the same size, literally, as R. Mason Thomas. But they say, oh, it was a different era. But he's one of the best to ever play the outside linebacker position. So R. Mason Thomas is definitely a sleeper. I like TJ Parker, but I look at TJ Parker as more of a Rashawn Gary type. But R. Mason Thomas is more like as a Raku, explosive, fast, and they're really the same. They have similar tape. It's just that they're 2 inches apart in arm length, and they say that it's bad because he ain't tall. They say the same thing about Bane. So I think that R. Mason Thomas is my outside linebacker sleeper. Nobody's talking about him, but I like him a lot. And he's a guy that I could see jumping into the second round, third round. But if they don't like his measurables, if he's there in 3 for that reason, oh man, I would take him. And it's just weird to me. I mean, I look at the draft this year and I'm like, they're grading guys real strange. You know what I mean? In certain categories. But I don't know. I guess there's a rhyme or reason to it. Nipsey, I'll take Trotter from Clemson or Indiana linebacker or Miami or any big LB, big linebackers. I got you. What's up? A64. He says, Koye Media, who would your inside linebacker be if you had to go get one in the third round, brother? Rodriguez. 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 Second. It would be Rodriguez or if Gallday is there, I'll take him. And I would just try to get him to marry the inside linebacker position. But I like Gallday. I like Rodriguez. If Trotter is there, I wouldn't take Trotter in the third, though. I think Trotter could be a fourth round guy, fifth round guy because of his coverage. But I like Trotter as well. I just don't like him in the third round as much. But if I had to go third round, it's Rodriguez. I think that's where his grade is. He's a late second, early third round pick, I think. And that's who I want. If we got Rodriguez in the third round, I'm happy. If Anthony Hill Jr. is there in the third round, I would take him at middle as well. I think Anthony Hill Jr.'s name, because people are talking about him a lot more, he may not be there in the third round. But I got some sleepers for y'all. Matter of fact, let me show y'all who they are. I got some sleepers for y'all. Let's go down the list. Let me see what else I got. Deontay Lawson's a sleeper. I wouldn't say he's a third round guy though, but he's a sleeper. I got some film on Deontay Lawson. Elam's Orr, he's a sleeper. He's a guy that I like. He could tackle real well. He ain't fast though, but he's a middle linebacker. I wouldn't say third round there either. Maybe. Keyshawn Elliott, I think from Arizona. I like him too. I'll show you Keyshawn Elliott first. Let's look at Keyshawn Elliott. Let me get back in here. All right. Glad you asked that question. So now we can get busy. Make sure, like I said, it's 150 y'all in here. Make sure I hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the join button. I see some of y'all still throwing super chats up. As I said, I'd much rather you join than super chat. Super chat is one time. Joining is buying me a cup of coffee once a month, and I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? So definitely do that. He said, "Does Myles Garrett fit in a 3-4? Does a bear shit in the woods? You can fit anything anywhere you want, and ain't no problem." I mean, but hold on, let me get back to this other screen real quick. I'll get to your question in a minute. Let me get back over here. All right, here we go. Can y'all see this though? Yeah, all right. This is Keyshawn Elliott. So Keyshawn Elliott, number 44. I didn't really call him out, but he's smart. You know what I mean? Smart, physical, rangy, very mean. I like how mean he is. Like when he hits you, he's smacking. He ain't a burner by no means. Like he's like a 4-5 guy, 4-6 guy. You know what I mean? Stout. But my issue with him is the same issue I'm having with a lot of these backers. It's their ability to change directions. When he has to change directions, he scares me when it comes to coverage because he doesn't have to change directions that often. I mean, he's smart though, like he can get to the ball, but even those types of plays where he's barely making it against this level of competition, he barely getting there. I mean, those are misses in the NFL. So I like him as a special teams guy and maybe a guy that can come in if he's able to adjust to the NFL game. I think that he can be something in a year or two. But day one, it depends on how you use him. But he is more of a middle linebacker than some of these guys. I think he's a guy that can come down here and play middle linebacker for you. But would I say he's a guy that I'm high on? No, he's probably to me fourth, fifth round pick type of guy. But Keyshawn Elliott, this is Elam's Orr. So Elam's Orr, I like him. Now he sheds blocks smooth, can tackle his ass off. Good size, smart. You know what I mean. Good athleticism, not great but good. You know what I mean. Doesn't have. He's not injured right now. He doesn't have any real injury concern that I now maybe somebody knows something I don't, but I haven't seen it. I know he wears like a brace or a sleeve on his leg, on his knee. I don't know if that's because of a calf injury or he trying to be cute. But that whole right side, he got kind of wrapped up almost every game. His right side is always wrapped up tight. But I like how he gets downhill. You can't really block the kid. I didn't see a lot of film and coverage here either. So he's not a coverage guy, but he's definitely a guy that can stop the run real well and understands the block concepts that they're trying to do in front of him. And as you've seen right there, he has good hands. But he ain't the fastest guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like another 4-5, 4-6 guy. He's not super fast. And I don't want to lie on their combine numbers. I'm just going off of what I'm looking at on film. Now, Deontay Lawson, if you're looking at Alabama linebackers, is one thing you're going to get. You get guys that can hit, they will run into a wall for you, and they will smack you, right? And he's another guy that will run down and hit you, right? Kind of undersized, though. He's like 230. So he ain't too big. He can shed blocks, though, even though he's not super big. He plays high-level competition, and he can shed blocks okay. Good enough for me to say he's worth looking at. But my issue with him is Alabama linebackers aren't the smartest. You know what I mean? When you look at Roquan Smith, not Roquan, I mean what's his name? That used to play for us. What's his name? Damn, I forgot his name already. Rolando McClain. You look at Rolando McClain, Rashawn Evans, the dude from Fred, whatever his name is. Not Fred, it's not Warner. It was Fred something that went to the 49ers and then wound up punching his fiance and he's out the league now. But yeah, those guys, they're just like hammers. They'll come down and smack you, but they ain't like cerebral players. And that's just the history of Alabama linebackers. Just like LSU creates great defensive backs, Alabama creates some thumpers at linebacker, but they ain't the brightest in the bunch. So he's a guy that I like though. But where he goes, like I said, fourth, fifth round, somewhere in there. And same thing with this guy, Red Murdoch. He's a fifth round guy that I think could be something. Let me pull his film in. Here goes your guy, Red Murdoch. Like his name too. I would play 21 Savage, Red Rum John before every game. Red Murdoch is number 2. And this is my issue with him. He a good tackler, but you barely getting there, and you in like what he's in Mountain West or something like that. The conference that you're in, you're not playing top level competition, and you ain't the fastest guy in that, in that conference. He is strong. He will hit you, but again, he's a guy that I think 2 3 years if the game slows down to him, he could probably get some good rep in there. Maybe be a starter at some point and contribute, but not a day one guy. He is a guy that I like, but he's definitely a fifth round, sixth round guy because of his measurables. He can hit. He forces a lot of fumbles. He's mean, but he ain't got the speed that I want or the strength at the point of attack, like block shedding and so on, for a guy that I want to take higher than what he's projected. All right. Yeah. So you asked, did he fit in the 3-4 though? I'm like, man, of course he does. Of course he does. Devin Overton 14 became a member. I appreciate that, brother. Like I said, members, when you guys are in here, and you hold me to it too, but when you guys are in here, I definitely will be giving you guys preference when it comes to comments. He said, I'm in there. He said, I don't think you need the fastest guy at inside linebacker as long as he can get downhill and have the potential to drop back in coverage. That's all I ask because I see everybody talking about outside linebacker, but I don't see a lot of inside linebacker talk. You got a point. Like if you got a guy that's more like your Sanborn, Sanborn was great between the tackles. So if you're looking at a guy like Sanborn, you say, hey, I want a guy that can play between the tackles and we gonna keep him right in front of you. We're gonna keep these guys right in front of you. You're right. You're right. However, if I need my guy to be sideline to sideline, like if I'm going when I'm talking linebacker right now, I'm talking about, game changer at linebacker. The game changers at linebacker right now need to have some speed. If I'm going to build, even if I'm going to build the team around you, where I'm going to funnel everything to you, you need some speed. Like we need speed. You remember this play where who was it? Sanders had a 53 yarder in game one, and Zach Bond ran him down. Those are the type of linebackers I think we want. We want long, fast, versatile linebackers that can do a little bit of everything that happen to be smart. I'm more about what you have between the ears than, just your prowess, right? You got to be physical, yes. You have to shed blocks. Those are bare minimum to me. At linebacker, can you shed blocks? Are you physical? Do you tackle well? You don't got to be a hard hit stick guy. You could be a guy that's just a strong, solid rap tackler. I'm cool with that. But you have to be able to tackle and shed blocks. But where I take you to another level is your IQ. Do you love football and do you watch the film so much that is sickening? Because at middle linebacker, you need to know what everybody behind you and everybody in front of you is doing, and you need to be able to adjust what everyone is doing on the fly if you need to, right? And that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? That's what I look for. Uh, Sadiqa said when he's squinting, it's a wrap. I'm squinting right now. I shouldn't even be squinting because I can clearly see. I don't know why. I squint out of habit. I can see right now, like very, very well. It's not an issue when it comes to what you got to write. I don't when I get focused, I just do this now. But before, I don't know what it was. Like my font probably was smaller, so I had to squint in order to be able to read what's going on. I can see what's happening now, right? So he said, that's what I say. I like 60 plus second round players in this draft. Yeah, me too. I mean, if I don't see Sonny Styles, like I said, at 12, I'm not touching a linebacker anywhere in the first round at all. I say he would need a vet. Yeah, I want a vet. Honestly, I don't even want to address middle linebacker in the draft. I would rather do it via free agency or trade. Like if you gave me Brooks, then you just need depth. Then I don't care who we get. Like you give me Brooks, then you can go out and get me a guy like Trotter. Then I would say I'm higher on some of those downhill guys. Like if you got me Brooks, then give me a Gaudet, a guy that can spell everybody in that room, but he doesn't have to be Brooks. He's just a guy that can do a little bit of everything, and we can use him in other places. And Brooks is the guy that's always on the field. Cool, you know what I mean? But give me Brooks, and then I'm not thirsty at linebacker. But there's nobody else that addresses it all the way. I don't even think Jacob Rodriguez fully addresses it year one because he would still need a veteran in that room. You need a veteran to show those guys how to watch film, how to be pros, and how to prepare their bodies. We don't have anybody in the middle linebacker room that can do that. So we need that first and foremost. And then, yeah, you can draft what you want after that. If you're going to build around a guy, he has to have all the tools. That means he has to have them either between the ears, if you're looking at a guy like Rodriguez, or you have a guy like Styles who's smart too, but also can play almost everywhere. So Styles is a guy that you can say, okay, he can address a lot of different positions on the field for you. You're not asking who can play big nickel for you. If you got Styles, he can do it. You can come out in your base formation and never go in the nickel if Styles is on the field. Because if Styles is on the field, you're playing 3-4. You're really playing 5-1 because he can slide out of the box into the slot, and you're not mad he's over there. And he's like, you got a guy that's 6'5" and really get in and out of his breaks and cover that entire area from 1 to 15 yards off the ball. You really don't want to throw the ball over there. You don't want to do nothing over there. You know what I'm saying? So I like that if I'm looking at Styles as a guy, like I like that idea. I do. Let's see. He got you, Mr. Diga. Watch, it's coming. You talking about the squints. Vach and Brian said they only have 15 first round grades this draft. Only 15 as far as what? You mean linebackers? Or 15 total first round grades? That might be they might not be off with that, because I think some guys are going in the first round by default because there's nobody else to pick. But I could probably do the same with them. I would agree. And I never disagree with Vaj when it comes to draft. Usually we might disagree on how to use a guy or what a guy might be capable of, because he might be grading it based off of something that I'm not looking at, like draft history, and he knows more about their full career, their off-field stuff. I don't look into none of that. I just film. So I look at how a guy could be used that way. We might disagree there, but I'd never really go against Vach when it comes to draft, because him and Foots and Brian, those guys, Brian's a scout. I want to actually sit with Brian and learn how to scout from him. So I trust what they're saying. And if they say there's only 15 first-round grades, I couldn't disagree, because I said, like, once you get out of the 12, if you don't end up with any of those freak athletes at that 12th spot, ain't no point in really being in the first round no more after that. You're not in this draft. You know what I mean? And you're going to go just pick a guy there because you have a pick. Nah, you can get out of there. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. Let me pause this. Let me go to this other screen. Just pause it real quick. All right, I agree with that. Okoye Media answer. Sadiqa Q wants to know what's the nickel means. The nickel? So nickel is a slot. So if you're playing in a slot, if I say big nickel, he's a guy that's playing in a slot. So he's a guy that he doesn't have to be a nickel back. He could be a nickel linebacker or a nickel cornerback, but he's a guy that plays in the slot and covers that space in your nickel package, right? So that's what it means, Mr. Dika. If you want me to show it to you, I will. You know how I do. Give me a linebacker just shy of a psychopath. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want a psychopath, but I want him to be smart. Trade Will McClay, Shoemaker to the Steelers for the second round pick. You going to trade Will McClay? The master squinter, like master splinter. That's funny as shit. Y'all grinding me up in there. Always making folks, always making folks are heard. Nice. Making sure folks are heard. Nice. Oh, that's a fact. Reezy, I'm laughing so hard over here at Akuya. He has no clue what I asked. That's what you asked, right? Is that what you asked? She said, what's a nickel safety? I don't know what she asked. Absolute fact, that is the case in this draft. Boom. What's your call on that fight tomorrow night, Okoye? I mean, Fandora is a guy that's easy to hit. I mean, people be giving guys high grades and they give them a lot of like fanfare. Fandora not. I mean, other than the fact, only thing good about Fandora is his height. To me, like, and I don't like that, because if you a 6'6" guy, I think you're a 6'6", 6'5", middleweight, little junior middleweight, but you fight like a pressure fighter. Like, you are easy to hit, but you 6'5". That's horrible. Horrible. Only problem is guy gotta, punch up at you. That's it. It's hard to punch up. But other than that, you're not really like that. And then the thing with Thurman is this. Thurman's kryptonite is body work. Like, you got to hit him in the body. I remember it depends. Calizo, what's his name? Castillo? Not Castillo. Luis Collazo hit him with a body shot. And you could tell Luis Collazo was paid to lose, because when Luis Collazo fought Thurman, he hit him in the body and Thurman was going to lose that fight. But it seemed like Luis Collazo was like, "Uh-oh, I ain't supposed to be doing this," and he backed up off of him. I'm like, "You could have beat him." But Thurman is a guy that if you hit him in the body, you got him. But Fondora, tall as hell, he ain't gonna hit you to the body, and if he tries, you're gonna get killed trying to go down there. So I like Thurman a lot. I got a weird feeling that Thurman going cracking, but we gonna see. It depends on what Thurman shows up because Thurman also, he done got money after that Pacquiao fight. Thurman ain't been the same, so I don't know. He don't really need the money no more. So I don't know how hungry Thurman is and how willing he is to deal with what Fondora is bringing from the outside. So we gonna see, but yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. I like him a lot. Trade Pickens to Tennessee, draft Love, draft Downs at 12. There's nobody that I would be nobody in this draft that I would trade Pickens for. I wouldn't trade Pickens for nothing draft wise. If you get Myles Garrett, that's a different conversation. But I wouldn't trade Pickens for nothing in the draft. Nothing. Nothing. There's nobody in the draft that I'm like Pickens is worth. No, not at all. I know what Pickens is. I don't know what none of these young boys are. And I like Love, but he ain't played nobody in the NFL before. So I don't know what they got. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what they got. So I can't say that. He said Pacquiao made him spit out his mouthpiece and take off running. Yeah, Pacquiao was on that juice though. I don't yeah. They arguing about Pickens over there. You think Pickens playing under franchise tag really? I mean, what he not gonna play? I don't think he's gonna play under a franchise tag either. They're gonna give him a contract later though. But yeah, he either gonna do that or he gonna sit here. They ain't gonna do nothing with him. Now, if he really, really tries to hold out, then you're gonna get same thing you got with Michael Parsons, a trade right before the end of the training camp. So I mean, if he does that, then Pickens would be dumb as hell. And I think anybody who has David, and this is crazy because shout out to Mill from YSM Sports. My man Mill is cousins with Dave Mugaletta, or whatever. You know what I mean? They cool. You know what I mean? They cousins. So it's not. I'm saying this for real, but I really mean it. Anybody who picks him up as a agent, you got to question what you're doing. Like if you pick him up as an agent, I look at you as a guy that's just trying to get as much money as you can because that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna get you your money. But if you're trying to be where you want to be and do, you're not gonna do that. He gonna get you. He's like Drew Rosenhaus. He gonna get you your money, but you don't care what antics you got to pull in order to get it. And you probably gonna burn bridges with the team you were with to get it, like To and all those guys back in the day. I don't like those types of agents. I don't. I think an agent who is really looking out for the career of the player, not just the biggest paydays, is gonna tell a guy like Pickens and tell a guy like Parsons, hey, yeah, we can go get you a blockbuster deal somewhere else. But you dance with the girl who brung you. Michael Parsons leaves, you get injured, and now you're gonna have an uphill battle. Only 28% of the league, only 28% of players that tear their ACL are in the league 3 years after that ACL tear. A lot of those guys don't really recover the same. And Michael Parsons being a defensive end is going to be an issue. I'm not saying he hurt his knee because he's in Green Bay, but still, he went out for the money, right? He didn't go for the glory or for the legacy because I think being here now with a 3-4 scheme, Michael Parsons would have been killing it over here, right? If he wanted to be a linebacker, he would have been something different. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Pickens, what was Pickens before he got here? I look at Pickens like I look at AJ. AJ, what was you before you got to Philly? Nothing. But now all of a sudden you so mad about everything. I get it. They're gonna rate you based off of your on-field performance. I get it. They messing with your money, and you and Hurts don't like each other. And Hurts is going and doing whatever he wants to do, or don't know what the hell he's doing on film. I watched it where AJ wide open, and you can see him open. Hurts ain't even looking for him. Hurts acting like he's running for his life, and you behind a line that's blocking like Tom Brady used to be getting blocking back in the day. Tom Brady used to be back there with the Patriots bouncing and patting the ball. So it hurts. But then you take off running and nobody even got through the line yet. He's running into sacks. He'll run out of the pocket into danger to throw the ball. That's because he doesn't feel comfortable. He doesn't feel comfortable throwing from the pocket. So I'm watching him do that and not throw the ball to AJ, right? So I get it. I get it. But when I look at Pickens, what were you before you got here? Wasn't doing shit. You was doing okay, but you wasn't a number one guy because you didn't have a quarterback that can get you the ball consistently. So if I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, hey, I got my Peyton Manning to my Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne didn't leave Peyton Manning. Marvin Harrison ain't leave Peyton Manning. You know why? Because you found a quarterback that has chemistry with you, who likes to throw you the ball. And you got a guy, if you're Pickens, who likes to throw you Dak likes to throw you the ball even more than he does CD. Meaning Dak doesn't throw the ball in double coverage, but he'll throw the ball to Pickens in double coverage. Dak don't throw jump balls. Ask Dez. Dez will still be here. But he'll throw the ball to Pickens in double. He'll throw a jump ball to Pickens, though. Dak don't throw back shoulder fades. He'll throw him to Pickens, though. He trusts Pickens to come down with the ball in traffic. He don't trust CD. That year when everybody was like, Dak threw a lot of interceptions, he was going for half the season, he threw 15 picks. 7 of the picks because CD was going over the safety instead of under. You know what I mean? When I say over versus under, if you got a safety that's playing deep middle and you're running a post, or a dig, if you are even a slant, if you run that route behind the safety, so let's say this is the safety, here's your safety here, right? Let's say this is safe. If you run that route in front of them, you're going to get hit if you sit it down in front of him, right? You're going to get hit, but you're also shielding that man from the ball. He can't get the ball. If you run it behind him, now Dak has to drop that ball in behind him, but he's expecting you, when you're at this point right here, he's expecting you to cut off in front of him. And if you don't do that, you're going to throw interceptions. You're going to force interceptions. So to me, that's dumb as hell. And he don't like to throw the CD across the middle of the field because of that. So yeah, I think Dak likes Pickens, and if Pickens is crazy enough to leave here, that's on him. But you ain't gonna find them. It ain't that many good quarterbacks in the league right now, believe it or not. Everybody thinks there are, but they wouldn't even put Dak in the top 10. And I'm like, yo, it's not that many quarterbacks. Most of them are athletes. I don't count athletes as quarterbacks until they stop running. Dak wasn't a quarterback to me until he stopped running. Get in the pocket, learn what's going on in front of you, be able to hold safeties, move guys with your eyes, move guys with your footwork. You know what I mean? Assess what's going on film, know people's tendencies, know which guy is the mouse in the house that you want to pick on. That's quarterbacking. If you just out here like, I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm faster than you guys. I'm Michael Vick. Michael Vick late in his career, that's a quarterback. Michael Vick early in his career is an athlete. Lamar Jackson, athlete. RG3, athlete. Jaden Daniels, athlete. Get what I'm saying? These are athletic quarterbacks, but once they can't run, with a running quarterback, you got a 6-year progression, meaning you're not going to know what you have in a running quarterback for at least 5 to 6 seasons. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, and tell me where I've been wrong at when it comes to this. Prove it wrong with you might have one player or 2 players you might be able to find, but I don't know. Running quarterbacks are usually better later. Geno Smith, Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, you know what I mean? These guys get better later. Why? In the first 3 years, if you want to learn to be a pocket passer, you got to be able to stay in there and, stare down, not stare down receivers, get through your progressions, and not bail out of the pocket whenever the pocket collapses, right? You got to be able to climb the pocket, do certain things, and pre-snap reads, things like that. So if you're a athletic quarterback, and this is one of the arguments that a lot of people had against black quarterbacks back in the day, but I understood it to this degree. If I'm an organization, I don't care what color you are, but if I'm an organization and you're a running athletic quarterback, I know after your first rookie contract, I got to pay you real money. I got to invest in you. But what am I investing in? They don't want to pay running backs because running backs' shelf life is 3 years, right? So why would I pay a running back that throws the ball? That's what a quarterback who runs is, who only reads one part of the field, right? Even Steve Young was better later in his career. Same good point. Steve Young later, not right off the rip. Get what I'm saying? He was in the league for a minute. He had to get that monkey off his back. You know what I mean? So when you have a guy that can run, even Ben Roethlisberger was running in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When you have guys that can run, they're not standing in the pocket to learn how to get their pocket presence up and to build that up because they don't have to. If I can outrun the defensive tackle, why am I going to take the hit? I'm not going to do it. But when I want the contract in year 4, that's when they start. So after the first 3 years, they're just solidifying themselves on the team and winning games, as many games as they can. That's what Hurts did too. That 4th year, though, and Hurts, they messed up with Hurts because they gave him his contract right after he won the Super Bowl. But that 4th year, now they got to prove that they can become a real quarterback in the league for two reasons. One, the film has caught up to him, and two, the owners are like, "Can you become a pocket passer? Because I'm not paying you to get injured, especially with the guaranteed money we got to pay. I got to pay you 100 mil, and you might get hurt day one, like we got what's the dude name from Cleveland? What's his name? Dude, the massage guy. He don't even play. He be at NBA YoungBoy concerts and shit like that. Forget his name. You know what I'm talking about though. But uh Watson. I'm like Watson. So I'm like, those guys start to develop in year 4. And then from year 4 to 6, that's when you see what type of passer they can become. Dak broke his leg in I think 4, 5, year 4, somewhere in there, 3 or 4, trying to get when he was trying to get his contract, and he had to learn to be a pocket passer from there. But he got so good at being a pocket passer after that injury that you forgot that he could run he forgot he could run. Dak got slow as shit. He wasn't running no more. We had to remind him, like, yo, you can, you can run. You know, you was a fullback before. You run like a fullback before. Now you don't run at all. So he started doing it again last year. But they don't want to play with the house's money. So running quarterbacks, and ain't that many good quarterbacks in the league. So again, to my point with George Pickens, where are you gonna go immediately and be that guy? Now you can go to LA, you can go get with Herbert. You can go and find if Aaron Rodgers still in, or Aaron Rodgers was just over in Pittsburgh. Now you got up out of there before you played with him. But you got him, you got Dak, you got Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? You got some guys who can do something with you from the pocket, right? That can develop, but they don't know you. They don't got the chemistry with you. You don't even know if you like the locker room. You don't like the city. You know what I mean? George Pickens is welcomed here. You like the locker room. The locker room likes you. And you got a quarterback that I think cerebrally, like between the ears, top 3 quarterback in the league when it comes to pre-snap reads and assessing what's going on. Dak is one of the best in the game right now at that. And I think Dak is in his prime. He's in his prime right now. I don't think you leave that if you're smart. If he does, then you're about the money and you deserve everything you're going to get, which is some bread. More power to you, black man, get your money. But career-wise, you fumbling. That's dumb. Might get you a Super Bowl and then get out the league, something like that. That might happen. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Not trying to run my QB unless his life is in danger. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right. Let me see what else we got going on, and then we can get out of here in a minute. Said y'all sitting there hoping. He said y'all sitting there hoping y'all can develop Daniels into anything more than athleticism. Make sure y'all don't RG3 that man and stop worrying about my QB. Oh yeah, Jaden Daniels was good the first year because nobody knows what his tendencies are. Second year, he looked normal. Why? We could watch the film from last year, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and see how can you frustrate this man. Now you got to get better now. Now you have to out scout yourself because you got to know that defensive coordinators are going to adjust to your likes and dislikes, and that's going to get tougher for you to make those same plays. All right. And then athletically, they hitting. So now it's like, okay, you want to frustrate him, smack him around a little bit. You see, he was injured in and out of the lineup. Now in his third year, he got to develop. He got to start developing into a pocket passer, or he ain't gonna get another contract. And he might not be. Oh, he might be in the league, but he might not be in Washington. You know what I mean? If you don't get that contract, you're gonna be looking for the next guy. He said later, Koye dog, stay easy. But like I said, I know about Ohio State players more than you know. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You keep saying they underutilized. I asked you a question. How? And you still ain't answered the question. So, I mean, I see you later. You might know. You probably do. I don't watch college football. I don't watch TV. I watch the film. So you probably do know more about Ohio State players than I do. But show me where he was underutilized. I'm going off of what he did on the film. I can't go off of what I hoped he would do if you would have used him better. I could say that about Micah Parsons. He was underutilized. But even when I break him down, I break down what he can do on the field. If I say he can't shed blocks, it's because I'm not watching him do it. If I say he doesn't understand what's going on in coverage, it's because I don't see him doing it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm grading. I've seen Micah Parsons do things, so I can say he can do that. Why? Because I saw him do it. He can shed blocks. Why? Because I see him do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm looking at is the film. I'm not looking at potential. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. And you don't date potential, and I don't grade solely potential. Potential is good, but I can't give you a higher grade because of it. It got to be, well, it depends. If you say potential as far as position, like if I said, hey, if you took Caleb Downs and said he's going to be a single high safety only, you're limiting his potential. I get you. Then he's less than what he could be because you could use him in a multitude of ways. If you made him a big nickel and a guy that's just like X factor all over the place, then good. That's what he should be doing. So I get you when it comes to potential. If you look at Kyle Lewis and say, I just want him to be a linebacker, you're limiting his potential. I get it. If you say he's a safety, yeah, then I can grade potential because I'm changing his position to his true position. But the true position based off of what I see he's capable of already doing, not what I hope he could do based off his speed and measurables, but what I'm watching him do. If I'm watching the guy run up the sideline and cover, and I say he's not a linebacker, and you go play him at linebacker like we did with Jabril Cox, things like that, then that's on you, right? But we can argue or we can agree to disagree, but I understand. He said, I did, Famo. I said Matt Patricia stopped using them the way he did after the Texas game. Oh, I ain't see that. My bad. There's a lot of comments in here. But like I said, you want me to see the comments. Become a member, good brother, then I wouldn't have missed it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, buy Koye a cup of coffee, good bro. But anyway, appreciate you. I don't know if that's the case. I have to watch the full season. I don't have the full season of Ohio State film. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get college football film. So don't have it all. Got a couple games. I got like 6 games. But if I could watch the entire season, I would. But I can't. I mean, not on film anyway. But you might be right there. But that still doesn't mean that I don't even understand why Arvell Reese would be getting a knock because I don't think there's anything wrong with Arvell Reese. I didn't say anything bad about the kid or Styles. I just think that they're still raw, and he is. You know what I mean? He is. He said he only knows about Ohio State players from EA college football. Come on, stop it, man. You know, what's the man? Don Jizzle, Montana, know football, man. You know football. Leave him alone, man. Leave him alone. That's my guy, Don Jizzle. All right. Any other questions from any of the members? Let me see if I missed anything from you guys with the greens. Let me see. Y'all ain't said nothing. Let me see if I missed any super chats. Nope, didn't miss no super chats. Let me see what we got going on. He said, "Boss linebacker show. We need you in it, Okoye. When is it? I ask boss. I will jump on." He said, "Dre shit. Stop. I'll watch other conferences as well. Not impressed." I mean, there's a lot of impressive linebackers in the game. I don't know if you're saying only Ohio State is impressive. That would make you a homer, bro. I can't even listen to you. You say that. Don't say that because then I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? You're gonna lose credibility doing that because then it's gonna seem like you grading with your heart. Don't grade with your heart, man. Don't grade with your heart. You're gonna lose every time. Don't do that. He said the ACC, the U, you fat. Well, the U, they linebackers suck over there though. I won't even lie. I don't like 31 or I think it's 31 though. Might be 31 and 41. I know 31 for sure. He's so bad. I remember his number. Let me see who else was talking up here. Master Squinter. Y'all got me with that one. That was crazy. All right. Yep. Y'all, I hit all these. All right, cool. Listen, once again, man, I appreciate y'all on here. Those of you who are still here, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Remember, they usually hit me for these lives that I do. I love doing them. I will sit here 3 hours with y'all and break down film after film after film. And I'll keep doing it because I tried to dip away from it because they kept shutting down my lives. But you already know how that was going. They stopped shutting them down. I think I figured out a way to get them to stop shutting them down, but they still don't pay me for them. So make sure if you haven't already, either you don't send super chats. I don't really care if you do that, but definitely become a member. I'm trying to build the memberships up over the next couple of months, and that will allow me to keep doing these full time. So if you haven't become a member, hit that join button. It only costs you $4. Buy Koye a cup of coffee once a month, and we friends for life, man. So let's go. But I appreciate y'all joining up and watching without me scheduling this. That just shows that y'all really are thirsty for the information, and I'm humbled by that. So I appreciate y'all. And thank you. Make sure you tune in. I will be dropping content all weekend because I ain't got shit to do, man. I ain't got nothing to do but content. So that's what I'll be doing. Let me know. But from the members, What do y'all guys want me to break down next? And that's what I'm doing. So I'm sitting on here just for the members that's still on. Y'all tell me based off of it's 9 of y'all in here, I think. Based off what y'all talking, that's what I'm gonna get on this weekend. I'm gonna tell you right now, I already did all the linebackers. So next week is probably pass rushers in the draft. And I gotta double up. So I gotta do pass rushers. And y'all be the second. So you can tell me what other positions you want me to look at or players. And that's what I'm gonna get on. And I'm rocking with y'all. So go ahead, hit me with it. First member to say it, I'm rocking. I mean, Sadiqa, not you, because I already know you. He said boundary corner. Reezy said, "All right, boundary corner. I got Jamal McCoy, Mansour Delane, Terrell Pons. I think can play on the boundary too. I like to get Keontae Scott. So let's see. Even though Scott's not a boundary corner, he's a slot. But I'm gonna just say corner. You know what I mean? Corner. Because boundary corner, we might not need one if we find the right slot guy. Then we know who our boundary corners are, right? So he said, "Who thirsty?" Nah, I'm JP. I'm just playing. I be thirsty sometimes. Shit, why not? That linebacker out the University of Minnesota, nice as fuck. If he pisses me off because he was so damn solid, he was disrupting Ohio State offense all game. Give me a name and a number, and is he in the draft? What's up, Sadiqa? What's your question, Sadiqa? Go ahead. What's your question? You said what you want to know what a nickelback is on film? Okay, hold on. I got you. All right, I can't go nowhere yet because Sadiqa has spoken. All right. You show you a nickel on film real quick. Let me see if I got any nickel footage of anybody playing nickel. Matter of fact, in the linebacker play, right? Let me go back to this linebacker room. I'm gonna show you one play, right? Because I don't want to show a bunch of clips. Let me show you one play. What a nickel is. All right. Let me get back over here real quick. Hold on, Sadiqa. Nickel to the rescue. All right. So let's look at Sonny Styles. Let me see if I can get a side view. Matter of fact, I'll show you. I got a lot of footage on nickel. First, let's look at Sonny Styles. You see, now this is their base formation, right? So this is Ohio State's base formation. They in base, or they got 3 linebackers on the field. Yeah, they got 3 linebackers on the field. But you see where Sonny Styles is in this slot area, away from the box. When I say outside the tackles, is away from the box. The box is in between the tackles. He's outside the tackles and in the slot area. You see that right there, Sadiqa, where he is. Boom. This is what you would call nickel. So when I say nickelback, nickelbacks are not always corners, though. They're usually corners, but sometimes you'll see a safety or a linebacker like Shaq Thomas is a good nickel, nickel backer. Like I said, Kyle Lewis is also a nickel backer. And they play in the slot. So they control the seam of the field from the line of scrimmage to 15 yards deep or whatever their assignment is, depending on how you use them. You got some nickels that are good, just like a safety, that are good near the line of scrimmage, meaning they can deal with any tunnel screens, things like that. And I'm gonna show you another nickel. Here's a full nickel right here, Derion Kendricks. So you see where he lines up? See that where he is? That's what you would consider the nickel. And the reason they call it the nickel is because you're in your 5 defensive back setting, meaning that person, that nickel back is usually the 5th DB on the field, and they're playing in the seam, right? But that doesn't mean in today's NFL, it doesn't mean that person is necessarily a corner. Some people do this with a safety, like you'll see Derwin James in this type of position. You'll see guys like Devin Weatherspoon play here, right? And these are guys that come down and they some of them play good near the line of scrimmage like this, where they deal with tunnel screens and bubble screens and smoke screens, and you can't really throw anything short against them. Some guys like Jordan Lewis was a nickel cornerback, right? You can't throw over routes against him. Him and Bland cover over routes in the cover 3 scheme very well. And what an over route is, our crossing route is if that guy in the slot decides to run across the field and cross the face of the quarterback. That nickel back, if he's in man, would carry that man all the way across the field, Sadiqa. Okay. You can call me back and let me know. You see where he's lined up? These guys are nickel. Those guys are inside the tackles. That's your base coverage or your base formation. And usually what they do in nickel, depending on the scheme. So some teams that play 3-4, like what we did last year with Reddy Stewart was really playing where our outside linebacker would be playing if we were playing 3-4. They would take an outside linebacker off the field and bring Reddy Stewart in. So that means Reddy Stewart would have responsibilities of the outside linebacker and a safety and a corner. So they do a little bit of everything. I mean, they blitz from there, right? They will cover and man from there, but they also have run responsibilities from there. And the run responsibilities changed based on the scheme. Reddy Stewart had to play more like a outside linebacker because we were playing 3-4 and we would have him come in the nickel package and he will be taking a outside linebacker off the field. But in a regular 4-3, you're taking a will linebacker usually or a Sam linebacker off the field. So if a Sam linebacker's off the field, you're playing kind of off ball, like you see Derion Kendrick's right here. You're playing off ball, but you're in space. You're in that seam. So that's a nickel. Okay. Now you see how he's covering from the slot. A nickel has to also be a player that can eat. If he's playing man, he has to be a little twitchier because unlike the boundary corners who are a little taller, your boundary corners are the corners that are on the outside. The guy at the bottom of the screen, he can play inside leverage if he wants most of the time, especially if he's one-on-one. The reason being is because he has the sideline as his friend. So if he plays inside leverage, he can control the release of that receiver. That receiver is not going to jump inside that often because he knows that guy's standing inside. But if he happens to run outside, he can't go anywhere because you have you have what you call cone coverage. You have the boundary to kind of help you cover this guy. The nickel, the reason he has to be a better athlete than that is because he doesn't have that option. He could take inside leverage like he's doing, like Darion is doing here. And this is why you see an outright route ran. You can see even when you look at the shadows, look at the wide receiver shadow. Let me take this out of here so you can see it better. So look at the wide receiver shadow and look at the corner shadow. You can see that he's shading the inside shoulder of this slot receiver. That means he's giving up the outside. That means he either thinks he has outside help or he has no inside help whatsoever, and he's trying to force the ball outside because it's just easier for him to kind of control what's going on, right? Or he wants to dictate the release of that receiver. It depends. There's a lot of different reasons why you'll see that, right? But he doesn't feel like he has any inside help, or he at least wants to keep this play for all intents and purposes, whether it be because of him or the coach. Because sometimes some corners get to do this on their own. Some coaches ask you to do it. So they want to keep this ball outside, which is what he does. And even at the release, he takes 2 stutter steps inside. So he's even further inside leveraged on this play. And now he wants to drive on this out route. You see that? Boom. And he drives on it pretty well. Boom. He's those 2 steps were the difference between making it. And this is how you know some guys don't trust their athleticism or trust themselves. Because if he trusts himself, he probably doesn't take that little stutter. And without that stutter, as soon as he drives, he makes this play, or he's right there on the play without that little stutter. But he stutters because of the break at the top of that route for that receiver. You know, it made him hesitate. Boom. See here, boom. So you see how he had run responsibility here? That's because first, you see where he is. He's one of 3 linebackers, although he's a nickel guy. He's covering this tight end. This should be a linebacker if it was on first and second down covering this guy. But they wanted more athleticism here, maybe because they have an athletic tight end here, or because they want, you know, him blitzing. This is a sub package or a nickel package, which most teams run 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, the guys are in nickel. So they usually bring a linebacker off the field, either a 4-3 linebacker or a 3-4 outside linebacker off the field in order to do that. Okay. That's what nickel is. Okay. Some teams don't take an outside linebacker off the field at all. They take a middle linebacker off the field, and then you'll have one middle linebacker. So they call it the 5-1-5. We have one middle linebacker actually playing on the field, and then they have a nickel guy that's just running around helping to cover short and intermediate passes or seam routes, depending on the nickel. Some nickels are better at covering the seam. Some guys are crowding the line of scrimmage, and they're not going to let you get anything down there. You know, it just depends on the scheme and what they're asking this guy to do. He's more of a coverage nickel, a zone coverage nickel that takes away his side of the field in coverage and takes away big players. Darion is the name. See here, he's in the slot against a big tight end here. He's a slot tight end eraser and a zone nickel. Plays very well with his eyes, and he can man up against the bigger guys and take them out of the game, but he can't tackle worth a damn. So he's a liability versus nickel because when you see him on the field, teams will probably much rather, if they can, run the ball because he is good in coverage. But if I run to his side, he don't want no smoke. So when I see him on the field, we running stretch plays, we running options, outside zones to his side. We running screens to his side. We're running tosses to his side because he don't want no smoke. So he's a guy that can play nickel in obvious pass situations. All right. I think that was a good clinic on nickel, right? Any other questions, Sadiqa? I gotta answer Sadiqa's too, because she always on point. Okay, she said, "Thank you. Now I understand better." All right, Sadiqa, there we go. All right, he said, "I believe Notre Dame DBs entering the draft. If not, damn, because they nice as fuck. Long athletic hitters, not the fastest, but solid as fuck like Diggs. Uh, we'll see." He said, "Cowboys should have kept Childress. Uh, he said Zion gonna get a shot. Oh, he's still here, didn't he? Ain't he? Ain't he here? I don't got no film on him. You said you want to watch his film. Where he at? Is he here? Malik Muhammad, nice too, but I'll take, and I ain't even gonna try to say that name. Igben over all y'all pet cats. I watched him shut and lock down every wide receiver in front of him, and he a hitter like Denzel Ward. Oh, Igen Ben Nosen. Who's he play for? Igben Nosen. Who he play for? Because I'm gonna watch him if he did that. Let's see it. But I told you, you lied to me, man. You supposed to be a member because I wasn't supposed to be listening to you about who to break down. But because you said he shut down all these receivers, we're gonna prove that with the film. I want to see that. He said only thing I didn't. He said he played for Ohio State. All right, bet. I'm watching. What's his number? What you think about? I like the other kid. Why don't nobody talk about Lorenzo Styles? I'm gonna watch him too. He fast as hell. Only thing I didn't like about Diggs was he could not tackle. He could tackle when he wanted to. Diggs was just only thing I ain't like about Diggs was he ain't love football. Yeah, he ain't love football. Neither does I don't think Parsons love football, to be honest with you. I don't really don't. Both those guys were playing too much for guys that love. They wasn't serious enough for me. They wasn't serious. I want serious. I want guys that's like this. You see, what I could be doing anything I want to do. You know what I mean? I ain't rich, but I get paid a good amount per week. I can go where I want. I can leave if I want. I can go fuck off, smoke some weed if I want, go get drunk on happy hour if I want. I can go, try to find a side chick, side hustle, side anything if I want. Where am I at? I'm watching film because I love doing this. I want that guy. The guy that goes home after strength and conditioning and after doing his recovery and watches film because he want to, not because the team told him to. I want him to watch film because that's what he wants to do. He wants to get better. He wants to know what's going on the field. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't want the guy that just can do it very well, but he's like, do you want the tortoise or the hare? The guy that's constantly working at his craft, even though he might be a little slower, but he love it, versus the guy who can do it real well, but don't even care about it. He lollygagging and chilling because he's just so talented. That's, I don't want him. See, I knew he stayed on here for a reason. Welcome to the club, man. There we go. But yeah, I'm gonna break him down. I was gonna do it anyway, though. I was only messing with you, man. He said 1 second. Are you serious? But I'm gonna break him down anyway. I was gonna do it anyway, bro. But now, though, for sure, I'm definitely doing it. I look at their somebody said Eric Butler Jr., San Diego State, but he ain't a member. But we might take a look at him. I'll see if anybody else say it. He said, Okoye, maybe we get Sayar Romanowski this year. Yeah, slow killer. Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, welcome Don Jizzle Montana to the family. To the family. He said Montana right, Okoye. Damn, he right. What he right about? About what his name? He been shutting everybody down for real? That's wild then. I gotta watch. You about to have me sit here right after we get off. Let me see if I can find this footage. I don't want to do it. That's Choctaw? Montana, that's Choctaw? Oh, damn, what's up, Shock? I ain't know that was you, bro. You changed your name. Why you change your name? Shock I remember you. Shock 808. Why you change your name? I remember you. Don Jizzle. I remember you for sure. Shock a legend in here. You've been here for a minute. I thought you was new. I didn't know that was your name. I didn't know you changed your name. But yeah, that's what's up. VI Cowboy 70, new member as well. Appreciate y'all, man. Any questions from any members before I go? But I will look up put his name in there for me again. IGNBIN. What else? Let me see. BIN. Let me see what you said here. I can't spell this nigga name. Excuse me. OSUN. Got it. All right. I won't forget it. I'm about to sit here and watch this film right now. I promise you. And I don't want to do a live because if I watch his film, his name Davison Igbinosun. Yeah, but if I watch his film now, is he in the draft though, or is he just if he's still playing? He said, "No, that's my email." Okay, I got you. He said he has to practice against Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. That's what's up. He said, "Keep up the great work." Troy Dudley, a member. I appreciate that. I appreciate all y'all, man. Definitely. I'm watching him now, though. I'm gonna sit here and watch it. I don't want to do a live because I don't have the footage cut up, and I don't want to expose this live because right now they haven't given me no strikes. So I don't want to expose this live to YouTube and not know what I'm looking at until I'm already looking at it. So I can't do that one live, but I will go rip the film now, and I'll ask some of my guys to send me some of his film, and then we'll get to it. Newhouse, he slept on. He said Newhouse is slept on too. All right, so we looking at defensive backs, basically, is what you're saying. All right, welcome to the memberships. And I'm looking at defensive backs. Let me look at DBs, but give me y'all sleeper DBs that nobody's talking about. So not the Mansour Delanes, not the Terrells of the world, not the Pond. These guys I know already. Not the Keontae Scotts, the guys that just ran great. Not even Lorenzo Styles and those guys. I want to look at the guys that y'all saying are slept on. So Davison and Newhouse, y'all said are slept on. So we're gonna check them out. I don't know what round they projected in, but let's see. I want to look at Jermiah McCoy too. I haven't really watched Jermiah McCoy to be honest with you, because he was hurt, so I haven't really looked at him. He said, Okoye, this is Newhouse fan 44. I just changed my name. Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. I get what you. I thought you were saying Newhouse is slept on. Got you. I'm very serious, diehard Buckeyes fan. Davis and Igbinosa is a third round or fourth round pick at best. Damn, that's crazy. Somebody disagree with y'all. We're gonna find out. Y'all said he shut down all these top receivers, though. Sometimes you find a guy that just got that heart. Like Bland was a fifth round pick, but Bland ain't no joke though. I like Bland. Shout out to GS Shields 3. He said became a YouTube member. Yeah, this is the easiest thing you could do if y'all want to support the channel is just become a member. It costs you $5. But once thousands of y'all are doing that, it's really worth it to sit here and do this. No problem. I'll sit here for $5,000 a month. If I got 1,000 members, hell yeah, I'll sit here all day. What you want to do? What y'all want me to break down? Buy me some coffee. I got you. I'll break down the presidency if you want me to. Avion Terrell. I already was going to break down Terrell, so that was an easy one, Dudley. No, he not, bro. Stop. He better than McCoy. He looked, he locked up everybody. Oh, y'all arguing about it too. He said, no, hell no. Igbinosa is a good second round for real, for real. Okay. All right, we got a debate. And I ain't trying to get y'all going at each other. I'm just saying it's good to know because I don't know. I don't follow names. I don't even watch football. I don't watch TV. Y'all know I don't. I've been here since 4 o'clock. I ain't got no time to watch TV. When I'm done this, I'm gonna chill with my daughter, chill with my fiance, have some fun, go to sleep. I might watch some movies, but I don't watch television. So, you know what I mean? That's how it go. But I got y'all. He said at least low second round. Okay, I'm gonna grade him myself though, based on the competition, and we go from there. That should be up this weekend. So I'm gonna sit here now and gather the film for y'all, and we go from there. Anybody who watching this, on the rewind, make sure y'all hit that join button. It don't disappear just because I ain't live. So that's what we on. We got 13 new ones in this live. That's good. We aiming for 1,000 this year. And once I get to 1,000 of them, we gonna throw some. I'm gonna do something crazy for y'all. Like matter of fact, I don't have it here. Have y'all seen my Okoye jacket? I got a jacket made, a custom made Okoye jacket that's like It's like a $700 jacket made by a artist named from Philly named These Pink Lips. She did like Cardi B shit and all that. But I got her jacket. I got a custom cowboy jacket made by her. Let me go on my IG real quick, see if I got it. I'm going to send this to somebody once I get to 1,000 members. Let me show y'all if I can get it up here. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all what it looked like real quick. If I got it somewhere here. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Just the pics, no reels. For those of you who don't follow me on IG, remember my IG is DRCOAKOYE. Matter of fact, let me share my screen with y'all. I'll let y'all see it while I'm doing this. Share screen, IG, share. These are some of my clients. When I say I house homeless veterans, this is Brother West. He got shot in the face right here, man. Too cool dude though, chill boy. But that's how he came when he first came to the crib. We had to cut his hair down, make sure we brought him back to life out this joint. But cool dude, man. All these guys good dudes. Let me see what we got going on over here. Somebody called my man Todd called him. One of them calling me right now, actually. But hold on. I'm trying to find this jacket for y'all real quick. But this is my IG, DRCO Okoye. You guys can see all of the boxing content that I put out, and my sons who do jujitsu and all other stuff that we do out here. But I'm trying to get down to this jacket for y'all. I'm trying to find it. And this is the one I'm giving. I'll give it away. I don't even want to get this joint away, but if I get to it, there it is. If I get to 1,000 members, this jacket right here, I don't think I got the back of it here. That's shout out to Skywalker still. That's my man's. Him and Jesse Holly. They go boss man right there when I was in Texas. All of the guys, DMV boss, DMV brothers, CFO Sports, you know what I mean? J Tuck, Rome, all y'all. Tyson West Coast Cowboy right there. I was happy to see Tyson, man. Tyson, my guy, man. I was happy to see Tyson. Tyson helped start me. But that jacket right there, say Okoye Media on it and it say Cowboys on it. On the back, it got a silver star. But that jacket is player. They go Dez and them. I was at their party. But that jacket is player. Y'all like that jacket. I don't wear it a lot. So I'm like, anybody who gets it, any fan who get it, I'll sign it and send it to you. But when I get to 1,000 subs, that's when I'll do it. All right. But I love that jacket. I just don't wear it that often. Love that jacket. But yeah, that's what we doing. So I got other options I'll put out there, but I'll make that one official. I definitely will do that. He said, nah, Newhouse is some guys I would have taken over bro from other schools, like bro from Florida State, nice too, in San Diego. All right. All right, bet. They said, thank you for coming back, Okoye. It's amazing how people piss me off regarding their Cowboys content. You know, that's what bringing you back too, though, right? I'll be sitting there, I'll be doing the same thing you doing, listening to them, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I got to get back in the mix because yeah, these boys talking crazy. So yeah, that's what it is, bro. But I'm out of here, y'all. I just wanted to let y'all see that first. But make sure you guys are liking, subscribing. I love the fact that you guys jumped on and started joining as well. I appreciate that because, like I said, I'm not doing this for free this year because not because I'm arrogant, but because I want to do more of it, and I can't afford to do more of it for free. To be honest with y'all, I can't sit it for 8 hours a day for nothing. I got to go get the money, and I get money doing whatever else I do. When the guys I house, and we make money doing that, so it is what it is. But shout out to y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. I'm out.